Welcome back, Halo fans, and welcome back to the HCS Global Invitational live from DreamHack Dallas. Joining me on the desk this time around, we have two familiar faces joining us. Clutch, obviously, as per usual, my trusty expert analyst.
Expert's a stretch.
It is.
Come on,
we work with them. We can attest.
Down.
No, we have to deal with you all day at work.
Look, call me easily impressed, but I think you're pretty damn good myself.
Aww.
We'll take that.
Tashi, Unishek from 343, it's an honor to have you on the desk, but I do have to say, every time you make an appearance on my desk, there's usually some really cool stuff to come with it, and it's usually a bit of a teaser or two, or three, or four, who knows. But I do know that Season 4 is coming, and I also know that it is jam-packed full of stuff for you guys to be very excited about. We're going to kick things off with some decorations, looking really cool in-game. I want to know about the esports skin, so what can you tell me about that, Tashi?
So we're releasing 4 bundles for all of our partner teams this year. And remember, the majority of the profits go towards the team. So when you buy them in the store, they support the teams directly. So we've already released bundle number 1 with Season 3, and now it's time for bundle number 2. And if you're a fan of weapons, you're going to be a fan of this kick-ass trailer that we put together for it. Let's roll it.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I've got to say, I've never been more excited about shooting a gun in a game than when I have a skin like that on them. That is absolutely incredible. They're stunning, stunning skins, as per usual. I mean, you guys never really mess with the esports skins. They're always dope. But it's cool that you also get a freebie as well when you do buy the bundle, which is amazing. So love a bit of a freebie. I know you guys love a freebie at home. Absolutely gorgeous. Very, very excited to see everybody starting using that in Season 4, so stunning stuff. But with new skins and new weapons to, you know, enjoy them on, talk to me a little bit about maybe what else is new, Wes. For example, like, maybe a map.
Oh, yeah, we got a couple of new maps on the way, but the arena map is going to be known as Forest, and this is a... First off, it's a beautiful, classic style of Halo map. The water really makes you feel immersed when you're stepping around in it. There is a waterfall you can fall off on. Just a little trick.
Careful.
It'll push you off.
Careful.
I learned the hard way. I'm trying to teach you guys quick that if you go close to the edge, you will be off. But I mean, just the aesthetics of this map are truly unbelievable with the trees, the sanctuary vibes with the stones, the moss. It's beautiful.
I gotta say, that is insanely stunning. It kind of reminds me of all of the open world games I play, and the details, the attention to detail is absolutely incredible. It genuinely looks pretty realistic, absolutely stunning. I have to ask also, is this the only new map that we can expect? Are there other exciting things also coming?
No, we are keeping a few of our cards close to the chest here. So you're just seeing the one map, Forest, today, but there are some more. There's a big team battle map, which we'll share in just a few weeks. And, of course, Plaza's on the way, too, so that will go right into competitive play in the ranked playlist, and we're really pumped about that one.
I absolutely love that. Love to hear that. Bit of nostalgia coming across, of course. As always, Halo delivers nostalgia in incredible amounts. So I need to know a little bit about new modes as well, because obviously new maps, new skins, there's so much on offer. Surely there's a new mode, Uni.
Yes, we have Infection coming. The fan-favorite game mode has made its return in Halo Infinite. You'll get to see some incredible effects there on the infected Spartans.
So cool.
Iratus, our banished AI in the multiplayer narrative, has taken over the Spartans, and you can see he is trying to infect the entire UNSC. Bit by bit, players take over and try and infect other players in the lobby. as more players get infected, you have fewer survivors, and you try and fight to be the last person standing. And it is a difficult task.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've never played Infection, even back in previous Halo iterations, so I'm really excited to try this one out myself. I bet you're pretty good at that.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely a blast. I remember back in the H2 days on Foundation where you're bunkered up in a room. I mean, that's classic Halo to me, so being able to bring that back to the fans and honestly be a part of it when that comes out, it's going to be a lot of fun. Just the mini games, that you get to have fun with. So a lot of even non-competitive excitement from my end as well.
Oh, massive from my end too, because competition, that's not really my thing, but fun. It definitely is. And now on our slot machine of Season 4, we've hit pretty much everything apart from equipment. So I want to know if there's any equipment coming in Clutch. I couldn't think of a better person to tell me the answer.
This is one that I am stoked for the competitive scene specifically. This is going to be the Quantum Translocator, and what it is it's a power-up. This is the first power-up we're going to be really giving Halo gameplay that's new to Halo gameplay, that's completely going to shift the meta. And what is it, you might be asking? Well, you acquire this power-up, you pop it, and all of a sudden you create a portal. With that portal, you're able to designate a location where you can return back to at the given press of the button. So what you're going to do is you're going to engage in combat just like that. Where you left the portal is where you'll end up, and you're able to kind of take damage, receive damage, start combat, and then re-enter combat when you're ready. There's going to be a lot of playmaking with this equipment specifically. I already know Bound's going to be a freak with this thing. I'm just stoked to get it in some pro players' hands and see where they go with it.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, that's extremely nerdy. Extremely nerdy. I'm so here for it. I'm excited to see how that's going to get used, especially in objective games as well, depending on obviously where that's kind of put into. Very excited to see how the pros use it, because often you kind of imagine what might happen, and then you get into game or you see it on the HCS and in competition, and you're like, oh, I never thought about it like that. So really, really stoked about that one as well. Sure. I also know that there's a threat seeker as well. Can you talk to me about that, Wes?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the competitive version of the threat sensor, and what we've done to this equipment to make it a little bit more competitive is we've taken the angle of once you scan, what can be rewarding to a team and find valuable as far as information is concerned, because at the highest level you already pretty much know where the player is, but now if this equipment is to ping you, you will be revealed for a period of time, and with that hopefully your team is able to capitalize on where your exact enemy Spartan is outlined. It's basically like having walls if you're able to pinpoint the enemy team with this equipment and ping them. It is a line of sight based equipment, so it doesn't go through walls as opposed to its predecessor, but we felt like that was going to make it a lot more of a competitively viable piece of equipment, and hopefully we're able to see that really transition into the meta, especially considering we have smokes now in Halo and the Shroud screen. I think it's going to pair very interestingly with players trying to play around those two specifically together.
Oh, couldn't agree more. I think, in terms of information, it's so important in Halo Infinite. Information, I mean, you look at the camo. Camo often isn't used to go around trying to backsmack players, although that would be nice, but it is used a lot for information, to gather information for your team so you can spread out and try and trap players in their own bases. So that's going to be massive. Going to be a massive piece of information and something that all of the players can use as well. So incredible. Really excited about the new equipment and watching that in action too. Now, something else I'm very excited about is the action of getting on Halo Infinite and having a progression system. We all know and love that one. And I want to know, Uni, about a new progression system coming.
Yep, you can see it on the screen right there. We've got Career Rank landing with Season 4 on June 20th. It's a brand new, all new progression system that rewards you for playing. All you have to do is jump in matchmaking, complete matches, and it has these military icon ranks that fit within the Halo universe. Super cool. The UI team absolutely crushed it. Fantastic icons, and you'll see these displayed all throughout the game. Pretty much everywhere you see your Spartan and your name and nameplate, you'll also see a career rank, so you know how good people are, how much time they've invested in Halo Infinite. So very happy for that to be rolling out. I know fans have been asking for it since launch. I'm just excited to make that progress. And also,
so excited.
We are going to have a blog coming out tomorrow with all the extra details. So stay tuned on HaloWaypoint.com, and you can learn more about Career Rank.
love that so much. I think it's going to be massive for the community, and you guys can dive into that one in Season 4, of course, and enjoy everything that we have to offer. And all of the teasers that we've seen today, absolutely amazing. But Season 4, like I said before, it is jam-packed. There is so much on offer. So this is my word of advice to you guys. Finish your battle passes. Get that done as soon as you possibly can, because June 20th, that is when Season 4 comes out. And trust me, you'll want to have completed it. You need to complete the battle pass. You can get the new one and enjoy all of the perks of Season 4 as well. But you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for coming and sharing all of that with us. Absolutely incredible. Cannot wait to get hands on it. Oh, actually, and for folks in the room, yeah, talking to you guys in the audience, you can actually play it right now. You can play Infection if you want to. Go over to the Complexity booth. Go grab a controller and enjoy yourself. Go test it out before June 20th. So that is the luxury for you guys being in the building itself here with us. So amazing stuff. Well, Tashi, Uni, been a pleasure as always, but we have some business to get to on the main stage, if you don't mind.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay, not a problem at all.
No, we want to watch too, so.
We do. We really need to know what is going to happen.
So now they have the player advantage. I think it's starting to think about how they want to take this one. With no shield APG. Can he yes, he can! Absolutely. Woo! Woo!
We came into this weekend with the 16 best teams in the world with their shields up, and for the first time this season, we're about to get another champion, okay? Lottie, let's get this one started.
Thank you so much, Blaze. So excited about these two elite teams on that main stage, getting ready to go head-to-head for a final time. This is it. The Global Invitational is what we've been waiting for. It's taken weeks to get here in between Charlotte, but that has meant weeks of prep. A lot of preparation for these teams, a lot of scrims, a lot of qualifiers, a lot of testing. When it comes down to a best of 7, there's so many maps and modes that you have to consider here. But right now, for me, it's about who is playing better as a team, who has that cohesive unit. They've played each other before. They know exactly what they want to do, and it's about capitalizing on the mistakes that are made, or, of course, the offense that you are actually pushing as a team. Clutch, looking across this, what do you make of it?
Games 3 and 4 are the biggest ones that stand out to me. I think if SSG want to win this tournament, this series, you need it to be a little bit quicker than the last. You don't want it to go the distance, but luckily they are very strong at Empyrean CTF. They are probably the best Empyrean CTF team I can think of when I think of Halo Infinite gameplay. You pair that with an oddball right after, which they are very strong in oddball typically. And they lost an oddball earlier today that they outplayed Faze in. I think that those are the massive swing game opportunities to either potentially end this series in 4 and reset the bracket immediately, or continue it on and stay in this tournament a little bit longer and see how long you can go.
Yeah, indeed. Tony, you ready for this grand final?
I am, and I love the fact that you brought up that capture the flag on Empyrean, but I will say, I'm looking King of the Hill on life. I'm looking at that game number 1 because I could see so many scenarios where Spacestation Gaming first wants to rotate towards a hill, get into defensive stances. Then we're going to see Faze's offense be tested against Spacestation Gaming's defense multiple times. So I'm really excited about King of the Hill Live Fire being that first game, because I don't think it favors either one of them, but I think it's going to be really exciting to watch.
It certainly will be indeed. You can see right there what we're playing for. It is the trophy. It will be lifted by the end of this grand finals. We are ready, set to go. Let's head on over to our two casters. It's Bravo and Onset.
Thank you very much, Lottie. And this is it, everybody. This is the moment we've been waiting for the last 3 days. One of the most turbulent and crazy tournaments we've had so far in Halo Infinite. And now we get to crown a new champion. And not only that, it will be a first championship for either Faze or Space Station as an organization.
That's right. The reign of Optic Gaming is over. They came here for the 4-peat. They fell short. And now we have a new era of Halo Infinite here with your teams on the stage. As you said, the first win for either organization. And someone is going to end their 12-plus LAN championship drought.
It's going to be a crazy final indeed. And on one side of the stage, you're looking at right now, a team put together, Faze Clan, to win a championship. One of the most difficult team changes probably of all time. Losing a friend, deciding that something had to be done to rekindle that form and find themselves lifting trophies again.
That's right. And just to paint this picture once again, Royal 2, Snakebite, and Frosty have not won a LAN championship in 339 days. For Renegade, Eco, Stellar, and Penguin, it has been 532 days. This is a very long time that these teams have been waiting for a grand finals on the main stage and a chance to reclaim their throne as Halo champions.
Well, here we go. It looks like the games are ready to get underway. Some fascinating game types in here as well, Andy, is just as we see live fire about to kick off and just as our grand finals about to start, give us a little bit of an indication of what we can expect to see.
Yeah, these first two game types are going to be really interesting. Both teams undefeated across the first four here. Of course, also on Strongholds as well, as we are ready to get into our first game of the grand finals here at the HCS Global Invitational at DreamHack Dallas.
We've got Halo on our screens. We've got battle rifle shooting. It can only mean one thing. The grand finals is underway here at DreamHack Dallas. It's Faze versus Space Station, and the POV of Frosty is what we're going to enjoy first.
So much pressure on both of these sides as we step. Oh my God, by the way, Bound off screen now, just hopping away after a beautiful no-scope. Coming in on his POV, he will connect there and now move into cuts.
Well, it's been a great start here for Faze. And remember, these two teams met up, of course, in the winners bracket final. It went all the way to a game 5 to decide who was going to be in this final. And for SSG, they came up short. Now they'll have to beat Faze twice if they want to be champions.
Yeah, this tournament just full of game 5 so far. And luckily, we have an even better treat here. A 7-game series in your first. Whoa, Frosty and Royal 2 combining from the pillars and the sandbags for a nice double team there as well. 2 dead for SSG.
Oh, Renegade nearly takes down Bound as well, but Frosty said, don't worry about it, buddy, I've got your back. And look at Faze go, and they are on fire at the start of this game. Space Station barely on the board. Penguin hasn't got a kill before Faze Clan are going to cap the first hill of the game. They're up 1-0.
While they do it with less than a minute of total play on the game clock there, as the clock now strikes 4:49, but already 1 point on the board here. All 8 players up, so this is a key moment for this next rotation.
See a couple of trades going down, which means that Faze have control of the tower, although Stellar is causing some problems. Snakebite will pick up that kill to make sure that Faze do have momentary control. Renegade finds one. Bound's going to challenge, a little bit of a peek, a little bit of a prod, and maybe going to be able to finish off Renegade as well.
And how impressive has Renegade been all weekend long? Really picking up where he left from Charlotte. Oftentimes we see his KD right around anywhere from 1.22 all the way to 1.6 all weekend long. Shroud screen goes down though. An evasive one here for SSG. Somehow Renegade just dives and dodges between those grenades and stays alive on Nest.
Yeah, but how about the timing on that Shroud screen, right? I mean, Renegade is lining up a shot onto one of 3 different players on Faze, trying to flood through those dummies, and the line of sight is cut off almost immediately. So Renegade now from Faze has got to deal with Bound, who's still alive on that tower.
Also, what a fascinating representation there of just this gameplay, right? How often do you see a player, Renegade just gets taken down? How often do you see a player sitting alive on Nest Bridge as 3 fall for Faze Clan for 45 seconds of time? That shows you just how tactical these teams are in waiting to make sure they don't make the mistake before they push for that hill control.
Really interesting situation on the map now. Faze Clan have to break Space Station, who have full control of this tower hill. The good news for them, as you can see on your screen, Royal 2's got an overshield to play with, so he's going to get the first kill. We have a 4v3 on the map, but there's that damn green gun coming in from Eco to shred all of the shields away.
By the way, Faze not just on the board here in terms of points, but also outslaying right now 19-10 as 3 fall yet again for SSG. Stellar's your last player alive.
Overshield makes the difference, though. It's the first kill that goes down to Faze, which gives him the opening to play off the back off. The green gun turns hands into that of Royal 2, and now you're seeing Faze Clan. They're going to pretty much tie up this second hill.
You got to feel like coming off of Charlotte, we knew that Faze would be focused coming into this event. So much time to think about that 1 kill difference in that first grand final. And it has shown 2 dead for each side. Now Snakebite will now rotate back tower with sniper rifle in hand.
Forces Bound away as well. Somewhat of a warning shot coming in, but now he's going to have to start connecting with a few bodies. Stellar does get the kill onto Frosty. So all the weapons now in the hand, but the flank also coming in, and Snakebite decides, hey, we know Space Station are pretty good with these weapons. I'd rather than not have them.
Snakebite just yeets all the weapons off the map. Not a bad play. And also he timed it well, because when you're getting pushed back tower like that in the jump up, you might not be aware that a player is pushing that fast. And they could have stolen the heat wave and the sniper, but who else but Snakebite to be aware of that push and make sure that those weapons get played.
Really important kill coming in from Eco there. You saw he got the first kill, but traded out by Royal 2. So it's a 3v3 on the map. This is Faze's last chance to break. Renegade flies in. Stellar's shot is steady, and he manages to take down his former teammate. Space Station will get the hill. They tie this game up on 1-1 as we head over towards the garage.
Wow, and what a great representation once again of the way that Space Station is approaching that play, right? They take their time. They let Renegade stay alive on Nest and Nest Bridge for about 40 seconds of play, and you very rarely see that as this overshield pops up. In the end, it pays off for them, and they get the point on the board.
How about this flank coming in from Penguin, though? He's still got work to do, and even though he picked up 2, Renegade is going to be there to scoop up yet another overshield for Faze. That's 2 in a row now for them as Renegade starts to patrol top mid.
Man, what a tough thing to see in your death screen is Renegade just grabbing that free overshield after you fell, and now he is just going to be dealing the damage here on sandbags. They try to put as many guns as they can on it, but he still has the height height advantage.
I mean, look at the damage that Renegade is doing right now. Royal 2 is going to say, I will take advantage of it. He picks up one, Renegade picks up another. Eco trying to be a problem, but Renegade will get the trade. SSG 3 in the death screen. Snakebite inside of the garage. Royal 2 gets the final kill onto Bound. This is guaranteed time now for Faze Clan.
I love that from Renegade, right? He easily could have backed down off the scoreboard, but instead he saw someone as key door. He's like, where are they? Where are they? I want at him. He flies right in. He gets the trade in a way that most players would not be able to from no shields. He gets a little bit of time on the board, and they get just about 40% of the way on the third hill.
One thing that's certainly standing out in this game is weapon control. How many times have we seen Faze with a snipe, Faze with a heat wave? Now you're seeing it from the point of view of Frosty, and the one opportunity maybe that the Space Station had to get them in the hand, Snakebite recognized it, back on that tower, threw them off the map, and that's why you're seeing Faze dominating the Slays at the moment.
Yeah, I love this too. Look at Frosty, just goes back. 2 players are dead, so he comes back to Rat Tunnel here with the heat wave. Going to connect with this one as well, and they've just dropped back enough. We'll see if they can stay alive off this push, though, as 2 fall off the back of that. This should be time for SSG.
Yeah, it's a good job from SSG just to make sure that they force Faze out of that hill. Now they're sitting at themselves, and Stella's going to spot out Renegade. Renegade with some pretty good shots is going to cause the distraction and buy the time for other teammates to get involved with this fight. But Penguin around this corner is going to poke out. Manages to take him down for just a few seconds. 3v3 on the map, but more time here for SSG. And if SSG can hold and Stella can pick up a couple more kills, then maybe SSG might squeak into a lead here.
Big job by Penguin to stay alive there. Would have been very easy to trade there, as you see as he comes across. Now 2 players here stuck on window.
Stuck on window and the overshield coming up. So really interesting decisions to be made by both teams. And it's actually going to be Faze who choose to go for the overshield. But do they have the time to get the break at the last second? They're inside of the hill. The timing is perfect from Faze. Space Station find themselves 4 dead, and this will be surely an opportunity to go up 2-1.
A guaranteed hill, a perfect push there at the end, and now Penguin's going to come try to fly in. He should be able to get it. We'll see just at the end. The stop comes in. Faze is going to get it. They go up 2-1 at the last second. As you said, perfect timing there from Renegade off of the overshield grab as well.
So difficult to make that decision. In that moment, do we play for the overshield? Have we got time to capitalize on picking it up and turn it into a point? Faze time it perfectly, and Space Station, unfortunately, from their point of view, will fall behind by 1 hill, but now they have great control over the OS side of the map, and we know how tough it is to break this hill, especially with the OV spawning over here as well. That could certainly help you out.
Yeah, all 8 players alive right now. These next few kills, the opening damage might decide where this hill goes just because of how isolated it is on the map. You're already 50% of the way done for Spacestation Gaming.
Interesting to point out as well that even though SSG are being outslayed at the moment in this game, they have won so many objective games being outslayed so far in this tournament. So don't let the stats fool you. You can see that SSG are already halfway to capping this next hill. And even though the guns aren't being as successful as Faze is, they are still in this game, and they might be on even footing.
Just tells you how much of this game is positioning, its routes, its sight lines. It's the way you can position your team. Not always about winning those 1v1s, but even so avoiding those 1v1s as well.
It's a perfect hill from SSG. Faze getting nowhere near it. And now with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left on the clock, the overshield battle continues. Royal 2 will pick up the kill onto Eco, and the kills are being timed here by Faze. There's 2 in the death screen for SSG, and that should mean another overshield going over to them. Another kill gets picked up and traded out by Snakebite, so an overshield here for Faze, and top mid will be locked down.
Penguin sneaks by there, eventually goes down to the dummy door. Frosty wants to find out exactly where he goes. There's 2 dead for both sides here.
Overshield popping right now. Anyone here to stop it? Penguin will get a touch on it, but it's only a little throw down to the ground. Eco taken down. Great teamwork now coming in from Faze. Just baiting, switching, and now Snakebite. He gets himself a yellow jacket to play with. He's looking good inside that hill.
2 dead here. Like you said, doing very well. He's going to play these angles. The overshield's going to let him tank a little bit of extra damage as well.
50% of this hill already in the hands of Faze. Looking to go into a lead. Snakebite patrolling, picking up 1. Stella gets the trade with that stick, though, to take the overshield out of commission. SSG have broken here. They've slowed down Faze, and Penguin that kill might keep this game rolling.
Yeah, Royal 2 here, though. Faze with a tower control and a very good angle. This is a great opportunity to get into our first listen-in of the grand finals with Faze Clan.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you, man.
Sniping 15.
I'm hoping you can us, right? Yeah, we can hold hill, Ben.
You respond tower. Let's play cuts. Let's play cuts. Sniping 10, guys. Sniping 10. Yo, listen, I'm flanking key door. We're gonna kill the guys cuts.
Sniping 5. Cuts weak.
I can kill it. On OV weak.
I'm living. Just keep living, Brad.
Cuts weak.
Alright, snipes up, guys. Snipes up.
That's 1 hit, guys.
Nice. Yeah. He's on middle. 2 1-shots.
Nice.
Yo,
Yo, get the hill.
heat wave in 10. Yo, spawners play for heat wave. Spawners play for heat wave.
I got him.
You guys hear me on heat wave?
Yeah.
They're gonna need this.
I can't play for you.
Heat wave is up. Heat wave should be up now.
Yeah, he has
They just got it.
Where's he going, guys?
Good trade.
Wave down dummies.
As they jump out the comms and back into our voices, it is going to be Faze who go up 3-2. Royal 2 was such an important double kill that he picks up, they're so synonymous with his playstyle.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what you expect him to do now. Just going to play this slow. That's not the first time we've seen the Shroud screen up at Nest and Nest Bridge for this rotation as well. Once again, all 8 players left. Let's see where these first kills go. Bound's the first to fall. They kill Stellar as well. This could be the home stretch.
Eco challenging, and Eco, I tell you what, he had to take the challenge, and boy did he take it. Now he's doing a little bit more damage to Renegade, but Renegade, off the back of the damage done by his teammates, is trying to force himself into back green. Now, how many times have we seen players being a nuisance at back green? If they stay alive for too long, it's a problem. Penguin knew that. He took him down.
Especially a player like Penguin. He's got Snipe to play with. He's got 4 repulses to play with as well. This will not be easy. 2 teammates fall, though, so here comes that phase push momentarily.
Penguin's left on his own here. He's going to have to do something magical, but he does have the weapon to do it with. Faze trying to push, and off the back of deciding to let SSG have a little bit of hill time, they rotated again, not for the first time in this game, to leave the hill, to prioritize the power-up, and SSG now find themselves having to go up against Snakebite again with an OV.
I like this from Snakebite, taking his time here. Penguin comes in with a repulse, though, goes for the stick as well. They will get that last kill, so that will eventually be a staggered back-to-back 2 deads. Overall, 4 dead. Bouncer first spawner, but he's got no room to push.
Faze now having a fight against SSG without the overshield. What they have done, though, is broken this side of the map. So they have some map control, and SSG are going to have to just be patient here, bide their time, and look for that pick before they can start to flood. But the only problem is that Stella is going to be taken down bottom middle, but Eco and Bound have done a great job of giving the advantage in numbers back over to SSG.
It's a great route here from Snakebite. Eco might not be ready for it. Those are good shots. He's going to get extra damage as well, and he stays alive. Great work here from Snakebite, but he's going to need the help to push.
He's going to need the help, and he has to wait. And the problem is that SSG now control this green hill again. They're about 80% of the way to doing it. They're about 80% all the way to capping it, and Eco is going to be taken down. And just at the last second again, the break comes in from Faze Clan. SSG, 4 dead, and Faze now have a chance to cap this hill.
Look at the patience, the timing, and the discipline from Snakebite. He knows exactly when to go up to top middle as well.
They're playing game clock here, Faze. They have the lead. There's only 4 seconds left in this game, and SSG have to fly. They have to flood, but they don't have the time to really impact this game. Faze Clan, they will win game number 1 of our grand finals. They're up 1-0.
Absolutely beautiful performance from them. Like you said, not just playing the game clock, but overall just playing that map so well. Overall, just game management was on point. As you saw Renegade just staying alive, for example, on Nest as long as he needed. At the end of the game, we saw Snakebite. He pops to top mid. He does damage from sandbags and concrete. He drops back down to bottom middle, goes pillars, and cuts off the mud spawners. They were always 1 step ahead, and they do perfect execution of that first game.
Shows how close these 2 teams are. We can use the 2 examples of Faze deciding to prioritize the overshield pickup, and that fight, instead of thinking about the hill time, that's kind of escaping them. We saw Penguin stood as last alive inside that hill. Faze decided that power up is the best thing to get here because it's going to give us not just an advantage on the next set of kills, but the ones after that as well. And this break here, where they did exactly the same thing on the garage hill, is another great example of how closely matched they are. If that goes wrong, it's the second wrong for Faze. They don't get that hill.
Exactly. I think that's actually a great example of what was really a game-changing moment, to get that stop. And the confidence and the understanding of the timing, like you say, to get the overshield when they were 1 tick away from getting that. They timed the break perfectly, and I think that sums up what we saw from Faze perfectly in that game type. Now we get ready for our game number 2, which is sure to be a great one. Both of these teams, by the way, undefeated in this specific Slayer. Slayer stats overall also on your screen.
Yeah, you can see one more loss, I should say, in the side of SpaceStation. Of course, this series that we saw in the winners bracket final between these 2 teams did go down to that Game 5 Slayer, where Faze were able to stack up and pull out that win and put themselves in this grand final first. Now, one player to keep your eye on in this grand final, and in the Slayers in particular, is the man on the right side of your screen right now. That's going to be Bound, because even though he's had some moments of brilliance that we've seen throughout this tournament, something been jumping out to us is there's been a few really important Slayers in a series where his stats really haven't reflected how well he's been playing.
Right, exactly. I think normally we're seeing Bound popping off every single game with huge kills, very low deaths. I think in this tournament, specifically in the Slayers, we've seen higher deaths than we're used to seeing, and you have to wonder exactly what type of Slayer performance he's going to bring to these grand finals.
Yeah, he's going to have to make sure that he's just keeping those deaths down a little bit more than he has been previously. Of course, we all know that Bound has the ability to completely take over a Slayer game, to take over any game type that he is involved with for this roster, and he's just going to have to keep an eye on that. Maybe it's just a little bit of chemistry not quite there in the Slayers, switching from objective to Slayers, and the pace of the game switching up so quickly across the series is going to be vital for him to understand, and for SSG to understand as well. But for Faze, it's a perfect start, Andy. The way that they controlled, I think, the calls in the game was the most important thing. We talked about how vital communication is to this this Faze Clan roster.
Yeah.
You saw every call was backed and every call was executed.
Yeah, and also we heard in the pregame, we got to listen in with SSG just a little bit. Them talking about how communication needs to be their focus here as well. And as long as that their comms are dialed, that the right plays will follow. So you could tell on the SSG side that they are prioritizing that as well.
Now for SSG, we were looking across the game types as we head into Street Slayer. And if they really want to have a chance of resetting this bracket and sending this deep, this grand final, well, they're going to have to win one of these first 3 or 4 game types and really put the pressure back on, because the back end of this series is the game types where FaZe have been a little bit lackluster. We're going to get a little restart here before we get into our game number 2, but it's interesting to see how the kind of dynamic of this series is set up for who favors who when it gets to game types.
Yeah, certainly. I think it's going to be really interesting to see exactly how it plays out. Like you said, that game 4 is going to have 0 precedent in terms of total games played in Dallas as well. And I think one thing that's good to talk about on the side of SSG for Bound is that his overall Slayer KD here is a .93, right? Just below 1. Overall, still, we expect Bound to have higher numbers on the board in general. However, his Slayer Streets is an outlier. Even with a .93 average, and his KD drops to sometimes .77, Slayer Streets, he has a 1.33 here in this game number 2. So he might have had a little bit of inconsistency in Slayer so far. However, this map that we're about to see on your screen, he's got an enormous 1.33. We'll see if he can repeat that here yet again.
Yeah, Streets is a map that really does favor a player like Bound. He's the ability to take a sneaky route, to hit a little drop slide and find his way behind enemy lines, or just hit the beat down before someone's even had time to react. He's up in your face and he's causing problems, and I'm always impressed with his ability to turn a single kill into a double kill as well, just immediately reacting to a call out after winning his individual battle to influence something else on the map.
Yeah, it feels like we've watched him mature in such a special way, right? We saw what he was able to do last season, and everyone knew, of course, Rookie of the Year, everyone knew what he was going to be able to do. The question was, would he find the right mix of teammates? I think it's very clearly been answered that he has found that right mix, and it's been incredible to see him mature in terms of how his gameplay has evolved to do the most damage on the map possible and setting his team up for success.
Crazy to talk about the drought that we were mentioning for both the sets of players that we see on our stage as well. And speaking of Bound, I mean, he's the thirstiest of them all, right? Because he has yet to win a LAN championship. What an opportunity it is for him to join the other 7 players on the stage and really say, hey, I'm one of the best in the world and I've got the chip to prove it.
Right, and also how special just for both of these teams with their trajectory, right? As we said earlier, the reign of Optic Gaming has ended, and now one of these teams will be your champion as we get into game number 2 here. Bound on your screen.
Bound on your screen, and with a Stalker Rifle to start off the game. Faze Clan, of course, 1-0 up in our grand finals here after that win on King of the Hill live fire. The question is, can they put the pressure really onto Space Station now? But is Space Station actually putting the pressure onto Faze? They will find 4 kills, and they should get the rockets off the back of it.
Yeah, great opening there on a 4-for-1 trade. If they can keep that up, they will be set up for success. Both rockets have already been used here as part of that opening rush.
Do you have control of that Stalker Rifle still? Bound still alive on the map. Another easy kill going to be picked up by Penguin. Almost donated to him in a charitable way by Faze. And 5-2 is the score, but the trades now come through. And even though the control was heavily in the favor of Spacestation Gaming after that opening strategy, Faze roar back into the game with 3 quick kills in succession.
Bound, your last player alive in the back of the tram, and he's going to hold it down, picks up 1. Almost pumps on the second as well. That's the most you can ask for your player staying alive in the back of the tram. The game will now go to 7-6.
Oh, Renegade with that Stalker as well. He's doing a little bit of damage, causing some problems for the Space Station side. But at 8-6, finally the game just starts to slow down for a second. Royal 2 going to try and keep that pace up, though. He gets the first kill. Managed to get a trade as well. Eco's going to have to deal with Frosty. There will be a 1v1, and Eco's going to come out on top of that. So FaZe trying to push the pressure there, trying to push the momentum they had, but Space Station held really well.
Yeah, pretty uncharacteristic there to see the teams fall back and forth, 3 dead each side. That's how you get really messy battles in the back of the tram, because there's damage done where both teams have evaluated we need to make sure we push.
Interesting to see here how both teams play around this rocket coming up as well. It's around 22 seconds, excuse me, until the power weapon will be back on the map. And this is generally where we see it almost become a round-based Slayer, right? Everyone's in a 4v4 scenario. Nobody wants to be first pick, because if you do, it could turn into 6-7 if you lose those rockets.
A heavy cafe push here coming in from FaZe, and Eco somehow dodges around it as long as he can. Bound is your last player alive yet again, as it was 3 dead for SSG.
2 seconds till the rockets come up, and that's what I'm talking about with timing on the pushes. And FaZe have the Shroud screen as well. Everything, the perfect mix of ingredients being put together here by FaZe to turn this game around. They're up by 1, but now they're looking to extend this lead with the rockets in their hand.
So well executed. They overload the cafe there. They catch SSG off guard. They get the 3 dead, as you said, Shroud screen as well. That's going to be a perfect grab, and I love how disciplined Royal 2 is being with these rockets. Only a 1-kill lead, so they're going to make sure that they're not the first team to make the mistake.
And with the 1-kill lead, it's now been taken away. As we see it tied up at 15 all. Royal 2 might be thinking about a triple kill, might be thinking about opening the game back up, and had to do so for Faze because SpaceStation did a great job there of actually putting the pressure back onto Faze.
It's a great response from SpaceStation there. Even though Faze had a 1-kill lead and the Rockets, they fly out in the end. It still stays just a 1-kill lead for Faze. SSG answers back and responds very well.
Really interesting to watch how both of these teams, all of the players want to take space on the map, aren't allowing themselves to turtle up, trying to make plays to create snowball opportunities for them. Snakebite inside of the arcade, baiting and switching beautifully, but the damage also coming in from Faze has made this a difficult situation now for Penguin. He knows he has to stay alive. He's got the Stalker. He's trying to cause some problems. A couple of laser beams being exchanged, both of them in different forms, but it will be Faze who come out of this situation with still just a 1-kill lead.
Yeah, so back and forth every single kill. It feels like it's worked for. The damage is done. They fly in to get the kill, and the opponents answer back. My goodness. Might have been 2 nades exploding one another there as Frosty gets the nade into B on Eco. That will be a momentary 2-kill lead here for Faze.
Pace of this game is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Both teams just trading back and forth, blow for blow, but nobody really landing the knockout blow as yet to establish that 3-4 kill difference. Maybe it is going to be that rocket launcher again, coming up in around 15 seconds that can create that space between the two.
It's also been just unbelievable performances from the last player alive each time to make sure the team doesn't get collapsed on and allow the next spawn kills to come in as well. The last player alive consistently for both sides. Royal 2, for example, on your screen just now on C-Balk, able to make sure that he's anchoring his team and keeps it a 2-kill game.
Shroud screen again being picked up here by Faze. The battle going down inside of the screen. It's going to be traded out between the two, but Royal 2 is going to come away with the Rockets. 1 kill the advantage again for Faze. Very similar situation that we saw from them last time they got this power weapon. Can Royal 2 use them this time to really establish a commanding lead?
Nice job there from Stellar. He takes a kind of a back angle there on A Statue to make sure that he can't get rocketed on the tires gen. It's a really heads-up play, really evolved play there from Stellar to make sure that doesn't catch him, but it's still a 3-kill lead for Faze.
But now you're starting to see the kills add up. Now you're seeing Bound as the last player alive for SSG, and that gap is starting to appear. Bound caught on the stairs. Frosty going to take him down after some good shots coming in from Royal 2. And look at his ability to just stay alive for a few seconds. Most players would have turned around and just said, hey, I know I'm dead in this situation.
Absolutely. Just every single thing you can inch out. We talk about how Halo Infinite today is a game of inches, and I think the series this weekend have certainly been an indication of that. Our grand finals will be no exception.
Oh, Stellar in a 1v1 as well. Takes that fight with Renegade. There's the trade again from Frosty. And comes out of that situation again, not taking the beatdown. Maybe if he took a beatdown from Stellar there, then all of a sudden, Eco gets that kill, and there's that swing. That's how close teams are. That's how close it is to exchange kills and give yourself a lead. But for the first time in this game now, as we see it slow down, there's a 6-kill difference between the two teams.
Oh my!
Frosty's a ghost!
No way! Oh my God, Frosty in a 1v4. You thought he was going to be taken down by the angles in the back of the tram, but somehow hits the Shroud screen for the back whack and almost lives to tell the tale. Game now a 5-kill lead for Faze.
And Royal 2 is on the flank, and Royal 2 is doing damage, but even before he can finish the kills, who's picking him up? It's going to be Renegade, who keeps that little cushion in the side of the team who's dressed in red. For now, though, the game's going to slow down for just a second. SpaceStation keeping this one close, and you've got to say, the fact that Faze have picked up pretty much every rocket launcher in the game so far, and it's only a 5-kill game, says a lot about how good SSG have held on.
It really does. You have to wonder if SSG starts to get power weapons and power-ups in this game, how different it might look. Rockets popping right now.
Oh, look at Bound as well. Bound is on the flank. Stellar picks up another, and I said, hey, what's going to happen if SSG get a rocket launcher? We're going to find out right now. Bound picks that big weapon up, and now he has an opportunity to drag SSG back in these finishing moments.
This was a 6-kill lead. This was 36-30. Now it's 41-39. It's an incredible comeback, an incredible string of plays from SSG. Bound, the stick! It's taken down there. It's good trade from Snakebite. You always expect him to hit those. Now just a 1-kill game. Now tied up at 42-42.
42-42. SSG answered my question. What can you do if you get the weapon? What can you do if you get the rockets where you tie the game up? 1 kill now the difference as Snakebite takes down Penguin, and all of a sudden Eco makes the call. You can see, slow it down, boys. Slow it down. We can't afford to give much away. And off the back of them slowing it down, now the pace is going to be upped because the kills have been picked up. It's 44-44. Eco's on the flank. Renegade goes down as well. They have a 1-kill advantage.
Wow, it's a perfect gradual tram push, and Penguin picked up the last one as well. It's perfect baiting and switching from SSG at the top of the tram stairs. That now gives them the 2-kill lead, and they only need 4 kills to close it out.
What a performance from the man on your screen. He's leading in the kills department for Spacestation Gaming. A man who's known for his support play, making those play calls. Well, he's leading the way with the slays at the moment. 14 kills for Eco, 12 deaths alongside it. Stellar gets another one as well. It's traded out, but just 2 to go now for SSG.
Wow, this is dangerous territory here. They know it's not over here. They know it's not over. 48-46. need to make sure they play this carefully. Only need 2 kills, but Faze Clan looking to slow down this last push.
Penguin's got that Stalker rifle as well, and that's a big problem here for Faze, because anyone who pushes 1 bullet, 2 bullets, going to shred away all the shields, and that damage might be the opening. Stella's going to fly in and try and finish this game off, but Faze retreat, Faze back off, and somehow keep themselves alive.
You saw Stellar had his foot on the trigger, ready to go. Instead, just stays alive and tires there. He might get taken down. 48-46 still.
Damage has been done. Stella's going to go off the back of it. Penguin knows there's a player who's still alive in PD. But they can't close their game out until Bound decides it's time to hold the foot on the gas. SpaceStation win the Slayer. We're tied up at 1-1.
Wow, and let's not forget, down 36-30 at the mid-game. That was an incredible comeback, and you called it perfectly, Mark. What happens if SSG gets a rocket launcher? That was the question. It had been complete rocket launcher control from the Faze side of the stage. As we take a look at some highlights, it started off here, and mainly tell you, in the back of Tram, you very rarely see just teams exchanging and flying into the back of the Tram, but the damage just came in each time, and the teams were evaluating. We need to push off this damage. There's enough. Even though we have to push across the map, we need to capitalize, and that was just back and forth tug of war the entire game.
It's just crazy the confidence of players as well. Like, I call out this 2 1-shots to the back of a Tram, and I'm last player alive. A lot of players have been here. I'm last player alive. I need to survive. I need to get out of this situation. But if you're good enough and you're quick enough, you can turn it into a situation where instead of just staying alive and keeping 1 death and not picking up kills, you can put it to a +1 for your team if you play it well, maybe even a +2. And these players know that. They evaluate every single situation that they find themselves in. They know how efficient they have to be, and that's how they judge. Is it a good time to go, or is it a good time to back off?
Absolutely, you put it perfectly there. Every single play in Halo Infinite, at today's level and pace of play, every single play has a cost-benefit analysis on how much damage is done. Am I the expected player to push in here and capitalize on the kills? And what we saw there was some of the highest level of Slayer play we've ever seen, where once the decision was made that the right amount of damage was done, that these teams and these players were going to fly in, they were going to capitalize. That's how that game stayed tied all the way to the 28 or so mark. In the end, a 36-30 lead. A lot of people would have been very comfortable placing their bets on a Faze Clan win with a 6-kill lead on the home stretch. However, not SSG. A big rocket grab, a big set of plays from Bound also on the flank through A courtyard all the way into the L to help with that rocket grab was an absolutely pivotal moment as well, and really good composure for them as well. You're going to see after that game. Short break here for the players on the main stage gives us a chance to look at some stats as we get ready for some capture the flag.
See efficiency rate, essentially, and this is something that was brought up a little bit earlier on in the previous days, and this is when you pull a flag, how many times is it going to go home? How many times are you going to convert? Well, look at the success rate for Faze. Now, we know they're a heavy slaying team, so it's usually that they're not going to pull a flag unless they feel fully comfortable that they are going to be able to convert it into a point. On the other side, SSG's is lower for sure, but I would say you are going to see more flag pulls coming out of SSG. They cause more disruption, whereas Faze are all about making sure it's the perfect scenario to execute.
Absolutely, and also worth noting here on this third map, no surprise, both teams are undefeated in this specific game type here on CTF Empyrean. Both of them are 1-0 in this map, and of course, only one of them will remain undefeated. After this next game 3 will be the go-ahead game in the series. And already, Mark, I'd say we're teed up for a pretty fantastic grand finals.
We certainly are indeed. I mean, being tied up at 1-1, give me any, I mean, you ask me what game type though I want to see played between any of these amazing teams. It's always going to be Empyrean and CTF, because it is the real test of every single asset and every single facet of your team's ability, right? It's hitting big shots with sniper rifles. It's controlling different areas of the map at different time when different power-ups are popping. And then it's about execution, clutch kills on flag runs, making sure you're taking the right route. Everything that you could love to see as a Halo fan is really encapsulated on this game type. And when you've got 8 of the best in the world, it's just a pleasure to watch. And to be the go-ahead game, you couldn't place it better.
Yeah, and you saw the players on your screen there. Big slaying numbers from both of them in Capture the Flag, and no real surprise there. I think Royal 2 and Stellar actually are great examples of players that we talk about in their careers are playing some of the best Halo, both of them we've ever seen over the course of their very long and illustrious careers, which is a special thing to say with how much those two have done.
Yeah, it's really crazy to see the development of Stellar as well. I mean, we jokingly went back and watched our first cast together. Wasn't very good. Wouldn't recommend that you do it.
Please,
but, I mean,
please don't watch it.
Please don't watch it. But Stellar, he was a young kid at that time, wasn't he? You know, short hair, completely different look. And
almost
now
didn't recognize him.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, is that Stellar? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Stellar. And then the lower third came. I was like, oh, okay, it is Stellar. But, I mean, from where he was then as like, you know, the Eco and Stellar were always talked about as the next up-and-comers, right? It was always, oh, Eco and Stellar are really good. You talked to Tox back in the day, and it was, oh, Eco and Stellar are going to be the people who give us problems. Well, you know, they were right. It's as simple as that, and Stellar has become one of the best in the game, without a doubt. And I mean, right at the start of Halo Infinite, I think after the first event, I was like, made the bold statement. I was like, I believe at this point in the game that Stellar is the best player in the game, and to be that consistent, to be in a grand finals for every single event up until now, apart, of course, from Charlotte, where they just managed to slip out. Not many players can say they did that in their career. No, it's ridiculous.
Absolutely not. Also, you just saw Elamite on screen. Big shout out to Elamite, of course. Well, the hard work with the SSG rosters last year, going through a lot of team changes, a lot of time to find their footing now, and now picking up this roster. Of course, they have found some early success here in year number 2, coming in with the first seed and now also finding themselves in the grand finals, looking to reclaim the throne that they've also often held in the Halo Championship Series.
You can also see how good these teams are at stopping those flag runs when they do come in, and it's interesting to see. You look at Faze and their efficiency. We're always saying, hey, they're really good at capping flags, which move in well. Look at SSG. Look at their return rate. They are unbelievable at making clutch plays and prioritizing the right kills at the right time in order to send that flag back home. So those stats really do tell the story to indicate how close we expect this, not just this series to be, but every flag game type, including the next one we're about to see.
Yeah, that's a great rate of return there, 85%. If I can get an 85% return rate on anything, you know, I'm going to be investing a lot of Space Station fans investing in their squad to see if they could take home this championship and the first championship for the org. Of course, in Halo Infinite, all 4 players on your screen here as they get ready for game number 3.
I want to talk a little bit about Faze as well, because I think the Faze have started to recognize, I want to give a lot of credit to one player in particular, recognize what it's going to take to win a championship here. And I want to give a lot of credit to Frosty, because I think that Frosty has always been the guy. He's been him when we're talking about Halo players, right? And he's always the one making these crazy, flashy plays. He's the one picking up snipes. He's leading the way, and you know, he's always been left with the weapons to play with. Like, okay, Brad, you go do your thing. You win us the game. Well, now he's got a new teammate in Renegade, and I think the amount of respect that he has for Renegade's ability, it's just kind of amplified by the way he's been playing in this tournament. He's taken a little bit more of a supporting role. Yeah. He is saying to Renegade, I believe you are the guy to go and win us games. I will be there if you drop those weapons or if I find myself in the vicinity to use them, but I think you are the man for us to go on and win a championship. You take that role, I'll be there to back you up.
It's true. It's been amazing to see just how well that dynamic has worked between these players. I think when Renegade burst onto this roster, everyone's thinking, okay, there's a lot of power here, but what exactly is the dynamic going to be? Exactly how is this going to work when it comes to the bright lights on the championship Sunday main stage? So far, so good. We're tied 1-1 in our grand finals here heading into game number 3.
You call it Empyrean, I still call it Pit. It's game number 3 and we're underway here. Tied up at 1-1, everything balanced perfectly in our grand finals. Snakebite is going to pick up the first set of rockets here. Already fired 1 to try and get some trades going. Snakebite's going to pick up a second onto Penguin, but both snipes also going to be picked up here, and I'm pretty sure that that's just been stolen away as Bound is being aggressive with the overshield.
It's a great play for Penguin there. Not only is he flying into the court for a reason, he wants to eat that rocket so that the overshield can still be in play here for Bound. But it's a nice 2v1 from Frosty and Snakebite to take down Bound with the overshield that is neutralized.
I mean, the confidence of Bound, you understand it, but Frosty's pretty good with this thing as well. He picks up 1 body shot. Stella's still inside a sword, though, being a problem. Now you're going to see, after what is one of the craziest and fastest starts we've seen, a little bit of time here to reset. Both players still aware that they've got snipers to play with. Frosty picking up another one. Almost managed to slide past here as well, but Stella inside a sword is doing so much for his team at the moment, providing cover fire with that snipe.
I mean, it looks just like the opening to the last game, right? Everyone piled in the back of the tram. This time, everyone's piled in the back of the sniper tower. You can just tell that this is high pressure, high pace Halo.
Frosty having to stand still as well inside of the Mauler. Stella knows he's here, and Frosty's going to have to leave, but this time he's got a teammate to do it with as well. Stella can't quite connect, but Bound is trying to push through the flag and cause some problems. Stella knows this. He's trying to do the damage and keep his life as effective as possible to help Bound out in this situation. Look at the kill feed. Bound's picked up 1, and somehow Bound is still alive being a nuisance.
Look at this delicate balance between Stellar and Snakebite. Snakebite stays alive as long as he can, but eventually he's taken down there as 4 will die. The flag run begins.
Now we've got to see if Faze can stop the flag, but Renegade on Spawn is going to have to do a lot of damage. He picks up 1, but it's going to be exchanged immediately. The flag is almost down the long haul and will be all the way through. Bound turning into Mr. Objective. The combination of Bound and Stella turns into a flat cap hit for Space Station. They will strike first.
And they do it under the 2-minute mark as well. Very nice work from Space Station. And you could tell, once again, it's just like that last Slayer that we saw. This is slow and deliberate competitive Halo, taking the time. Look at the delicate balance what we saw between Stellar and Snakebite, right? Stellar knows he needs to hold green. Snakebite doing whatever he can to buy time for his team. And slowly but surely, it's very methodical Halo from both sides. A very crazy tug-of-war that we've seen on each round of Slade rotations.
Now, Faze have 1 map control. That was 4 dead. Rockets are going to be coming up as well. Renegade going to be flanking through green. Gets the kill onto Stella. Here was the problem. Eco doesn't check both ways when he crosses the road and gets hit by a snake. That's going to hurt for sure. And the Rockets do go over to Renegade and Faze. But SpaceStation, having lost 2, are able to fight off Spawn here. The numbers aren't quite adding up here for Faze.
3 dead. Frosty's your last player alive. Trying to put as much pressure as he can on here, but he'll have to wait for teammates off the spawn.
Oh, Bound makes him pay as well. Just Frosty tried to switch to that battle rifle to snap on with that headshot to close out that kill, but Bound too good in that scenario. Now Penguin's thinking about maybe stealing away a sniper. Maybe he's going to use it to hurt Faze even more. Eco's there to support him, and I love what we're seeing from SpaceStation. This is a deliberate strategy. They are trying to steal the sniper away from Faze.
Look at this battle here. Royal 2 tries to stay alive as long as he can. Royal 2 buys the time. It's a good trade for Penguin. In the end, though, Royal 2 stays alive long enough to force that trade. You got to think Penguin might have been able to eke out a bit more if Royal 2 was not able to stay alive on that pit ramp.
Interesting to look across the stats at the moment. It's Frosty's leading the way for Faze. 8 and 4 for him. Stella with the sniper rifle for the 2nd time in this game, looking to add to his 6 kills. And I did say that, you know, it's a real standout, the fact that Stella has been given the responsibility to pick up the sniper rifle on this team when you've got the likes of Bound there, who can obviously do some pretty nutty stuff himself. But Stella pretty much holding off the Faze push on his own at the moment. There's one. Converts that into a kill. Snakebite's going to have to wait for those shields to come back as the body shot is still probably ringing.
Oh, and that's a nice kill. Stellar somehow stays alive as long as he can. And that flag will be stopped there on the first PR.
Well, it's going to be stopped, and look at this. I'm pretty sure that SSG might be thinking about running one themselves on the other side of the map. They're trying to run it through the courtyard. Renegade's going to slow it down, and now Snakebite, who was last player alive, has got some important work to do here. If he can hit this, then maybe there might be a chance for Faze to counter cap. He out PR Stella, puts him in the ground.
Nice job there, as you said, finally go through the courtyard. 7:39 left on the clock here, still 1-0 in favor of SSG. Good time to get into a listening here with Faze Clan.
I'm trying to, man. I will.
Yeah, can we go high side now?
Everything together. Everything together.
Yo, one shot green, one shot green, one shot green. There's second one. There's second one. One shot in green. One shot in green.
I got him. I got him. Two dead.
Rockets OV in 20, guys. One shot.
They're first shooting me. I got him.
Nice. All right, everything in 15, guys. Everything in 15. Nice, dude. 3 dead.
All right. Oh, let's rocket.
Second. Everything in 10, guys. Everything in 10.
Watch. Trying to nade him.
Yeah, PJ's playing safe for Rockets.
There's one. I need help. I'm getting over.
5 seconds, everything.
Is it sword? Sword, PJ. I have to rat.
In sword, V. Is you in?
Dropping
on it.
Gonna die. Just 2 on 3.
There's trades, PJ.
Nice. Last 2 on V.
Yeah, Rocks are down in green.
Yeah, they're gonna ape. Yeah, all good. We said wave rockets. Make sure we're playing together here, okay? He's our training. He's going green. Has repulsor. How's it? Sorry. Our green. One hitter runway. He's gonna chow.
Bounds in the game, and Bounds pick it up, an overkill!
What a way to come out of that listening here as Bound is just absolutely dealing the damage and doing exactly what he needed to in this series. He's going to try to even run the flag over towards the tower. Not going to be easy to do here. Still 2v1 on the map.
This man is a game changer. He makes things happen for SSG. But have Faze done enough to just slow the momentum, to quell the flames that were just ignited from Bound with that overkill? Eco going to pick up 2, keeping the pressure on. He might be able to get a touch on this flag. And important Bound to win! A triple kill from Eco that might turn into a second flag cap as well.
Wow, if that doesn't sum up the slaying power on Spacestation Gaming, what does? It's an overkill followed by a triple kill as well, and that will easily escort their second flag home.
Eco's going to run it under the bridge downtown. And it's going to be Spacestation who go up 2-0, and after the triple, I mean, Eco's got every right to pick up this sniper rifle.
Guess what? It's early days here, early afternoon here on Championship Sunday, and SpaceStation says let's lock in for a long evening of a grand finals here as they lead 2-0 in this 3rd game, looking very strong.
I mean, the game has been decided by big plays so far. First cap, Penguin causing so many problems and Bound staying alive, combining with Stella, but that was all about Bound blasting an opening through Faze's side of the map, and then Eco following up as well. But now Eco's got some defensive work to do. Still plenty of time here for Faze. Renegade just about stays alive, and now Eco has pressure. He has to take down Renegade. He has to deal with Frosty as well inside of the sword, but he's played his life so well here.
Oh, look, somehow they trade on the flag as well. Stays alive, as you said, that's 2 dead. And Eco so carefully plays his life. How big is the body shot on Renegade? The fact that he hits that body shot on Renegade on the plat so that he can swing around to the flag and easily clean that up, that keeps things things nice and calm for the Space Station side.
So interesting to see. You always look at stats and you're like, okay, stats are cool. You know, Eco's 10-10. If you were to say Eco's had a 10-10 game, it would not tell the story whatsoever. But now FaZe have a chance to move that flag. SSG are 3 in the death screen. Royal 2's got to move that objective.
How about Renegade as well? Once again, he dies on the flag. He flies right back into the flag. He wants round 2, and that's what he gets. He also gets a sniper rifle as a reward. Frosty should be able to grab the overshield on this escort home as well. There are still 2 dead for SSG. FaZe looking good on this run.
Just got to force this through. They have the overshield, they have everything they need. That's another kill being picked up, and if I know anything about FaZe, if they can get this one home in the next 5 or 6 seconds, they're not just thinking about the fact this is 2-1, they're thinking about going for a double kill.
That's right, Frosty wants to stay alive here as long as he can because they already have the double in mind. Almost does it though. It's a very good prioritization of the S1 kill from SSG to shut down the hopes of a counter.
2-1 then, as we enter the last 4 minutes of this game. Plenty of time, like I mentioned, for FaZe to make this comeback. Snakebite holding down green on his own at the moment. The human turret just firing away. Penguins disappeared off the map for some reason, or maybe exploded in a way we didn't expect. And maybe that's going to be the opening for FaZe to push forward.
It's a great trade for Snakebite. He's always going to trade there on the mid-bridge. Make sure to get that one. That was 2 dead for Space Station. Now 3:34 left on the clock. You got to wonder how heavy SSG will be with the pressure. Will they try to play a little bit of mid-map, or will they just continue holding forward here as they continue to lead by 1?
Renegade's been a nuisance. Renegade's on the tower. Frosty picks up another one as well. Stella should be able to trade it out, but not without Frosty doing damage and allowing Snakebite now to move through the training. Bound trying to shut him down, and it looks like it's a play call coming in here from FaZe to just slow down for a moment, wait for those respawners, hold mid-map, and then we'll make our play.
See what they can do here. Snakebite can stay alive. Down here at Overshield, he has a lot of pressure on him, a lot of friends. He's making one of them. Trades out, however, that will now be SSG holding down bottom.
Look at Bound. Having a dance around the pillar. Frosty's going to join him for a little bit of a tango, but both will fall over at just the wrong time. 3 dead here for SSG. Renegade can't quite clean up that kill onto Penguin. A couple of frag grenades going down as well. Penguin just surviving for that long. I mean, talk to me about how important that is.
Oh my goodness, Penguin's last player alive there in the back of the tower. If he dies, then very likely we see a very different composition here coming in from FaZe, but somehow just on the weapon switching, Renegade doesn't get what would have been an easy burst finish, and SSG holds a little bit more structure on the map.
Bound poking on that tower. Renegade not quite connecting with that shot. 20 seconds till rockets come up. 20 seconds till the overshield come up. And with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in this game, they have to go to FaZe if we want to see this tied up. SSG, if they get them, that could be game-winning.
How does FaZe time this? 10 seconds left, as you say. Not a lot of time to start getting some damage and some picks. Keep an eye on the kill feed. That'll determine where the weapons and the power-up goes.
Stella just got 2 somehow. Managed to pick up 1, and then got that stick almost immediately to clear out the long haul side of things. Now the numbers were in the hands of SSG. Renegade is one of the last alive, is being chased down by Bound. Bound doesn't turn the right way. Maybe thinking about using the rockets here, just burning them. Manages to pick up 1 on his way down, alongside Eco giving him the help off the back of the assist. But that was a little bit of a scary moment there for Bound.
Scary indeed. We'll see exactly where that overshield went as well. Eco's going to stay alive here with the heat wave, and Bound somehow stays alive and burns both rockets. Had he not, it could have been dangerous territory. Penguin still with the sniper rifle. You hear off screen just taking faces.
We know what he can do with it. If you watch the most recent online tournament, you certainly will know that Penguin is no stranger to making plays when it really does matter. But Eco, he's got something that does work at a little bit closer range, and Snakebite says, I see you, buddy. It's time for you to go and have a sleep.
Nice little double kill here for Snakebite, and man, has he been impressive. We talked about what he did in the Saturday of Charlotte. Man, Penguin still hitting shots from the backfield as well, a battle of the snipers, but Snakebite, an unbelievable weekend for him so far, but still 1 or 2 series to close it out.
Oh, just got caught, maybe screen watching for a second there, which allowed 2 players to sneak up. Penguin just holding his side of the map, and the good news here for SSG is this is all they really need to do, right? They have to lead. They have to hold on for 50 seconds, and Penguin is just saying, you shall not pass this sniper tower.
That's right. Now, keep in mind, with the size of Empyrean here, with 44 seconds left, there is 1, maximum 2 pushes left for the side of FaZe. Can they do it with 37 seconds left on the clock?
Penguin's only got 1 sniper rifle bullet to play with here. So they do have to keep in mind that if they do make a push, and they are successful with it, there might be a way for FaZe to force their way into the base. 1 sniper bullet doesn't connect. Penguin and Stella now last alive, and FaZe are flooding through.
Here comes the FaZe flood. As you said, it's a full green long haul push, and they get 2 kills. Can they continue the slaying?
Stella's still alive, though. Stella slowing the progress down. Renegade will be taken down as well, and you have to wonder, with those kills, and certainly this one on Snakebite, if that's enough here for SSG to go up in this game.
Royal 2 in no position. Royal 2 take it down. That'll be it as the time ticks down.
The time ticks down, and SSG will close out game number 3. They go up 2-1 in the series, but boy, was that close.
Down to the wire, and you have to think, SSG, once again, just playing the perfect slow timing on those caps. They know what they need to do. They're not flying through green and long and hoping that the kills come. They're sitting in green. They're sitting in long. They're seeing if they get the right damage on the first BR, on the plat, on the cuts, on the spawners. If they do, that's when they push. And as a result, the flag caps that they start often pay off. They get the 2 big ones on the board, as you saw in that game. It's not easy to do, and then they play with that advantage. They hold mid-map, and they were able to do so for the final 7 or so minutes of the game.
I mean, one thing that's always fascinating I love when we see examples of what we like to talk about, right? And adapting to the pace of the game, understanding where your advantages are. SSG at the start of that game were flying forward. You saw the clear game plan to try and steal the Faze sniper away, to get up onto their tower, to really put the pressure onto them. And it worked for them with 2 caps, right? They got that first cap on the board. Bound went a little bit wacko mode and got that overkill. Eco follows it up with the triple himself for the second, but from then on, they recognized the situation of the game. It's like, hey, we got a 2-flag lead. Like, we don't make many mistakes. We don't have to push. We don't have to do anything wild. Penguin with that sniper rifle just sat on the tower and said, hey, Faze, if you want to get in the base, you're going to have to go through me.
And look what the difference maker was, right? A bound overkill followed by an eco triple kill just to get that flag to the mid-ridge. You have to work and work and work against a team like Faze, and especially on a game type like Empyrean CTF. But guess what? SSG was up to the task. No matter how many rounds of slays might have been required, they're able to get it on the board. 7 kills in a row as they run that flag home. And that's what's the difference maker. You have to get an overkill and a triple within about 30 seconds of each other and to bring that flag home. It's not easily done. However, it will result in another win for SSG as they take the lead in the series 2-1.
Fascinating stuff. We're talking about this series right now. Faze Clan and Space Station. You can see the series score in front of you. It's 2-1, obviously in the favor of SSG at this point. But this next game type is very interesting because neither team have played this yet in this tournament whatsoever. We have no record of how they played it with this lineup. Now, the interesting thing to point out with the oddball stats is that Faze have been pretty damn good. And of course, we did see these 2 match up in an oddball game, not on this map, a little bit earlier, where Faze Clan clutched out such a close game.
Yeah, it's worth noting their overall oddball record as well. Faze 3-0 in ball. Spacestation Gaming 1-2 in ball. And as you mentioned, receiving one of those from Faze themselves. On your screen here, and a little bit of a 1.18 KD coming in for the Faze side, unsurprisingly, and a little bit of a negative side there based on the losses coming in for SSG.
Yeah, but not too surprising to see it, right? Because we know that SSG likes to play a little bit scrappy. They're not too adverse to having these little transitional setups with 2 players alive. They'll hold on to that oddball for an extra 5, 6, 7 seconds to try and extend that lead. But if you're looking at 2 players who love this game type, you can see their KDs there. It's going to be Bound and Renegade, surprise, surprise, leading the way in the numbers for their respective teams.
Like you say, surprise, surprise, these 2 powerhouses are absolutely dominating across a multitude of game types. As we look at CTF specifically, Royal 2 is a big standout as well. 1.31 at Dallas and CTF coming into this series. As we look at also at Bound, like you saw earlier, 1.28 leading the side on the SSG in terms of overall slays in CTF specifically, but no precedent in terms of how that game type was played as we get ready for oddball on recharge.
Now pressure back onto the shoulders of Faze. Keep in mind in this grand final, they have a series advantage. The last thing you want to be doing though is thinking about that right now this early into the series. But for SSG, it's a chance to go up by 2 games here, to have a 3-1 lead. And no, you just have to win 1 more to reset that bracket.
That's right. I mean, how much pressure here on SSG to know that they need to do this quickly. As we talked about based on the series layout, nice kills there from Frosty. He's going to get away with the camo as well. SSG knows they need to do this early, not let this series go the distance.
Frosty with his camo being so effective as well. Doubles back so nicely. Just making sure that his position is going to be so difficult to decipher and communicate for SSG, and now probably thinking about throwing an oddball back to his teammates. But instead, the call is made. You push. You go and get some kills. Snakebite's going to pick up 2. And this camo's not been really had to use. Frosty's just been playing distraction.
Nice job there to go not only grab the shock, but also, of course, going to grab that ball, start that rotate, and just hold down now for the Pipes angle, as the team should be able to escort that on the gold hold, and that's a nice big first pick as well.
Certainly is. Eco might be thinking about getting his head taken off as well in a few moments' time, but instead it's Bound who flies in to make sure the shock doesn't have too much of an effect. But look at this early hole coming in here from Faze. Eco's going to be trying to break through on the gold stairs and manages to at least pick up 1 kill, but the ball is already out of here. If they can pick up the kill on Penguin, he's trying to cut off this angle, then it'll be good news for Faze, but SSG are pinching. SSG are collapsing, and then Snakebite is last alive, almost manages to take 1 down, but Faze don't complete that rotation. SSG should be able to get some ball time.
Snakebite does everything he can. Royal 2 actually wins a pretty big battle in tower as well. It won't slow down the grab for SSG, but it will at least set up Faze for a little bit of an easier push here off the respawn. They're already in long haul.
SpaceStation now holding that ball at pipes, and we have seen these two teams where they play this recharge oddball game type. It's not usually a case of a 30-second hold, a 40-second hold. They're both so efficient at breaking. It's usually 5, 6, 15 seconds at a time that you're going to see that score start to tick up a little bit, and SpaceStation, who did have that ball in their hands, now find themselves in the death screen. 3 of them will fall, make it 4, and Faze now have a chance to get that ball in their hands. Frosty's going to have it again.
Really great discipline and management once again. Snakebite staying alive as long as he could on the sneaky. He gets kind of a little bit of a play ball, but once again, buys enough time moments ago for Royal 2 to get that big win against Stellar. All of that about 35 seconds ago paved the way for this current hold and all of those deaths.
Renegade manages to get the kill onto Bound as well. No trade coming in, and that is the camo taken out of the hands of SpaceStation. And that's usually what you want to have if you want to break through a setup. And at the moment, Faze Clan doubling up on the lead, and Renegade, he's going to pick up another.
2 dead here for SpaceStation. Renegade wants more. Taking a look at anyone he can see on the map. Pretty quickly knows that they must be in pipes.
Yeah, but look at this rotate coming through. I mean, Bound is going to be taken down as Frosty finds 2. But it's such a good call on the rotate coming in from Faze. Efficiency, something we always talk about in objective game types. And Faze's been a little bit guilty, maybe, not being the most efficient overslaying. But in this circumstance, they get that ball out of pipes. They run it towards Elevator, and they make SSG have to change their plan.
And really, it comes off of what we've been talking about this entire time. Just continued slaying dominance. And when you see Bound just flying out of Whirlpool, eventually it's 3 dead for Faze, but not before they go up 43-16. Things will slow down with a momentary 3v3. We'll see if SpaceStation can hold here.
Need to hold. If they can, then maybe this game is going to be pretty close to being tied up around that 43-point mark that Faze have managed to put on the board. For now, it's about holding the crosses. It's about doing damage and making sure you're not first picked, and Penguin is going to be first picked. Trades come in, but Bound now is going to be flooded by 3. SpaceStation, again, cannot hold, and Faze are breaking very comfortably.
It's a very good Faze push. Teammates coming in there, but luckily Frosty will live to tell the tale. Going to just maybe think about rotating here based on how heavy the pressure is on gold.
I mean, what's surprising to me, I mentioned how Frosty has been willing to adapt his role on this team, do what it takes to win. He's got the most objective time on the team at the moment. He's been the one going for that oddball, recognizing the situation as quickly as possible, and now he finds himself as last alive.
Let's see what he can do as a solo. If he takes down Penguin, he'll be huge as the solo player in a 1v4, and now he's just flying around doing even more damage. This is beautiful. This is all you could ask for, even more than you could ask for your last player alive.
I mean, he's done everything you want him to do. Bound now trying to stay alive and trying to be a problem on the batteries for him, but Frosty, like you say, as last alive, buys time for Faze. That means that SSG don't get the ball. It means that they don't close that gap. It's around 19 points the difference, and maybe now you're going to see SSG a little bit more comfortable with this hold. 3 will fall from Faze Clan. Penguin has the camo, and Frosty's last alive.
Even though it was a great effort from Frosty, in the end, slow and steady SpaceStation Gaming climbing back into this game. Now they're only down by 8, and with camo in hand as well.
Royal 2 versus Penguin. Oh, Renegade! He announces himself to that fight as well, and Penguin probably thought, I've got a guaranteed kill here. But that's how good the communication is looking for Faze. However, SSG tie the game up. They now go into a lead with 50 points.
How many times have we seen that from Renegade? There's someone at top gold, and somehow off-screen, Renegade is shooting from that angle. He picks up another one as well.
All this carnage is going down. Bound's running away with that oddball. That's what you need to do. Out-rotate Faze. And at the moment, SSG are doing it. Snakebite breaks through, though. 2 dead for SSG.
And once again, back and forth here. Faze right now outslaying 34-29 overall, but this game is still so close. Kills being traded out. 2 dead each side.
Pace of the game starting to pick up once more. Nobody getting away with no shields. Killing spree here for Bound. He's 8-8 in this game, but hitting up at just the right time. SSG have turned this game on their head now. 64 points and rising with an elevator setup, and all of Faze trapped over a gold.
It's been amazing to see this entire series. Truly, every single kill, every single push is so calculated. The only time that teams are pushing are if they have that mathematical, that risk has been assessed, and they're pushing in on that advantage. But as you say, the kills are traded out constantly. Here in the back of elevator, big help coming in from Eco on Bound.
I mean, every time you see in a 1v1 at the moment, the help is arriving. But Faze are flying through. Royal 2 gets the trade. 2v2 on the map right now. Frosty needs to do something for Faze if they want to break through. Snakebite's going to be there to assist him. Snakebite will be able to grab that ball, but here comes more pressure. This time it's from Stella. He gets the kill as well. Penguin will pick up another, and SSG will hold the elevator.
Yeah, finally on the timing push, we finally don't have another player from Faze pushing in here as we take a look at that camo popping right now.
Camo going to be popping up, and the kills that were picked up by SSG may allow Penguin to move in and pick it up. However, Renegade, more than aware of the situation. He finds the kill. Camo's going to be taken down as well. You saw Frosty had got that into his hands. Faze now on the precipice of not a very good situation. Renegade has to make a play, and at least he's got the camo to do so. But look at this route coming in from Stella. He's trying to escape back to spawners, but Renegade cuts him down.
Not over just yet. Big responsibility here for Renegade, though. They have 3 dead. Eco's your last player in long haul, and now only 3 points away for Spacestation Gaming. This has to be a perfect hold here from Faze.
Faze get that ball in their hands. Eco's still alive somehow, and Eco somehow gets a kill, so pressure now.
Oh boy.
Renegade doesn't get the back smack, but does get the kill. Unfortunately for him, he's going to have to go a little bit Super Saiyan here because multiple players have fallen on his team. He'll pick up one and gets another one onto Bound, but Penguin, he's out of here with that oddball, and SSG will close out round number 1. Faze had a chance there at the end, but SSG holds strong.
They did. Penguin just sneaks away with that ball over to the stairs, and you won't believe this, the comeback there was incredible. SSG was being outslayed 21-11 earlier in that round, and they somehow come back and win the round of ball. An unbelievable comeback. It took them quite some time, just over 3 minutes total of play to bring that essentially Slay total to a tie, and in the end, even win the round and sneaking that one out.
The ability to stay in the rounds for SSG is something that we're certainly going to keep our eyes on. Never out of it. It's almost like it's the only team you're kind of looking at, and you're not paying too much attention to the Slays. If they're being slightly outslayed, they're usually winning objective game type still, and you can see Penguin. He's got the first camo in this second round. Can he put it to use?
That's the question here. You got to think Faze with a lot to think about after that first round. It's nice job here from Renegade. Comes in, forces the trade on the camo. That will certainly be a win and a trade he's happy to have overall, as the control for pipes and gold will continue. And man, Faze, you thought they were going to run away with that round. Certainly had the slaying advantage throughout its entirety, but SpaceStation just finding a way at the end to make sure to have a huge, huge hold there to close out the round.
Snakebite now moving around with this green gun, should be able to maybe turn 2 here. Switches away, but just gave the opportunity for the 2 bursts to come in, followed by that beatdown from Eco. And we always talk about how this game is a game of inches. Even in individual battles, you can see it there.
3 dead there for Faze. This will be time now on the board for SpaceStation. Really our first hold of this second round. World 2 is going to spawn up, which means all 8 players on the map. Let's see how well SpaceStation can hold here. Rotate, thinking about maybe a little bit of a gold pressure.
Yeah, you're going to see SpaceStation looking for kills. Where do they fall? If they do pick up the first 1 or 2, that oddball will be moved to where that action happened. At the moment, though, Eco's going to be pushing in on Royal 2. Royal 2 loves a trade. He loves going +1 even more, taking Eco down.
Wow, you think Eco definitely expected to get the trade there. As a result, it's 3 dead. Ball's not really played. I believe still top gold here. It's also going to be a free shock rifle for Royal 2, which spells danger for Spacestation Gaming.
Certainly does indeed. Penguin does get the first kill, but look at the info. And look at the push coming in from SSG. They do not let Royal 2 get too comfortable with that shock rifle in his hands.
Talk about that pressure. Eco, your last player alive, man. Stellar just flies into Whirlpool, but Faze answers back on that pressure to make sure that it's a 2v4 trade, and it's perfectly timed here, as Frosty's also going to have camo grapple.
Gets the information as well where the spawn's coming in. Might have been tickled just a little bit by that frag grenade to drop the shields, but nothing too much to worry about here. Play coming in from Penguin. He's just behind enemy lines here. Can they get that kill? Penguin going to be baited in. Has no idea that Frosty is here, but here comes the flood again from SSG. They get 2. The ball is now going to have to be potentially played by Faze, but SSG keep it in pipes. They pick up the kills, and Renegade is now last alive.
Well, they might even have caught the ball off of the bat ledge, because there was certainly a play ball opportunity there. However, SpaceStation makes sure that the ball stays comfortable in the pipes, and they will continue scoring. Mark, you talked earlier about how SpaceStation is a team that even if they're being outslayed, can win objective game types time and time again. They're still being outslayed by 3, but they're leading in round 2 as well.
Gotta say, a little bit surprising, a little bit disappointing maybe to see Faze wilt that easily with that hold. Frosty has the camo, they have the oddball, they have fallback control.
Shock as well.
And shock, like you say, and somehow or other, SSGM managed to find a way to break through the setup. Certainly a miscommunication maybe. Maybe someone just losing an important individual battle, but I'm not worried about that oddball too much for now, until we see where those spawns are coming in. And now you're seeing a little smart rotate, moving towards the spawners. And the great thing here for SSG is if he could get it to the back of blue, there might have been a playable opportunity.
Interesting note, I think Baum was actually looking for the slide to see stairs. He doesn't have the slide, so he had to actually go into a repulsor tunnel, which would provide these angles there for Faze. I think he wanted to take a little bit of a different route. Faze now going to have the ball all the way outside here on Sword Plat.
Yeah, really smart position here from Snakebite as well. Even though he's kind of in a difficult position, he gets the play ball. Most importantly, you know, he's not just facing away from where the action is happening. He's still involved, and you can see why that was important. Picks up 1 kill, did damage to another, slows down SSG once more. Oddball is going to be reset, but now all eyes on the camouflage dropping bottom middle.
Ooh, this is a big kill here. Renegade takes no damage as well. He'll have the shock on bat ledge, which will provide an opportunity for Faze to try to get back in this. It is worth noting how low scoring this round is specifically. Very different from our first round with only 139 left. Just 26-17. It's still a 9-point round.
Trade after trade after trade. Faze not being able to get the oddball in their hands quite yet, but they do have the kills to go alongside it. There's 3 dead now, and Snakebite is going to say, to Renegade. You do your job, which is to kill Stella right now with his shock rifle, but Stella again is last alive. First spawner gets into a position to make this uncomfortable for FaZe. Ball is down. Still that 6-point difference between the two teams.
World 2 with a big win there. It will eventually be traded out. However, Snakebite needs to pick up this one, and he will, unsurprisingly. 2 dead for both sides. Let's see how Snakebite holds here at back C. Might just play it. He does indeed. Makes the safe play. Now it's just a 5-point round with 1 minute left.
I mean, it's a really smart play from Snakebite there. He'll get a trade at the end of it as well, but the reason that he decided to play ball there was because he realized where his teammate had spawned, right across the map over at Gold, and if he gives away that odd ball and SSG managed to keep it on the map, it's pretty much gifting a setup over to Space Station. But just to go back to your point, look how close it still is. Still 5 points left, and there's 5 points, between the two teams, and there's only 42 seconds between the two squads.
FaZe Clan get 4 dead there with FaZe. They should have a ball grab. They do, and there's also a spawner here on back Ellie. Maybe even some split spawns based on the damage that came in. Yes, they will split spawn as well. A few players here at Gold. 30 seconds left on the clock, and it's just a 5-point round.
5-point round, but 2 kills going over to FaZe. Royal 2 with a big double kill as well. And SSG find themselves 4 in the death screen. The timing of the push perfect, and with that push, with those kills, FaZe Clan turn this one around. They go into a lead.
And what a time to do it exactly when they needed to strike. Now they're up by just 1. 20 seconds left. The next kills will decide this round.
Camo coming up. Problem is, I don't think SSG have time to worry about it. Trades coming in. Royal 2 taking a flank. Snakebite's out there. Nobody close apart from Bound to really get that old ball out of their hands. Snakebite going to be forced to play ball, but here come SSG. Maybe they're thinking we do have time. Eco gets the pick up, but the positioning from Royal 2 here is exceptional. He picks up 2. Penguin, he gets taken down as well. Royal 2 just saves the round here for FaZe.
What a play there from Snakebite. When he was top Gold, you were wondering what he might do. Is he going to hold the ball? Is he going to rotate? Maybe go long haul? Instead, takes the ball, plays it all the way, not just to batteries, but to bottom middle. It forces SSG to just dogpile onto the ball. Stellar can't wrap the corner. It's a great round here. We're right into our final sudden death, 3rd round here of Oddball.
You love how close this series is. It's a pleasure to watch these two teams whenever they do go against each other. Fierce rivals. Neither wanting to give an inch whatsoever. 1-1 in this game. This is, like you say, the deciding round. I mean, what a difference that round was, right? It was so close between the two teams. Just 2 or 3 points. It comes down to 1 or 2 right at the end. And Royal 2's pretty good when he goes up against camo players from that ledge.
Royal 2 knows that angle. I think Stellar knows that angle as well. If you've watched any Halo over the past year, you know that angle. You know exactly what we're talking about. Few players have found themselves victim to the angle, but I got to tell you right now, guess what? FaZe still stepping up in the Slayer department. They're now outslaying 100 to 91. Can they continue it on here? 3 dead. Royal 2, your only player alive. That will lead to early time for Space Station.
I mean, every player on Faze Clan putting up a huge amount of kills at the moment. Royal 2 is leading the way, and a lot of those came in those clutch moment at the end of that game. And I love the decision making, just as we see SSG with this hold inside a pipe. Just to take a second, you know, he knows camo's coming up. He knows where the push is coming from SSG in that last round. So it makes a little bit of a risky play to just rotate towards C-Plat and get those angles to do the damage. It's one that can either win you a game or lose you a game, but for now, it's going to be plays coming in from Eco that he's looking to turn into game-winning ones.
That was 4 dead yet again for FaZe. Space Station still holding in Gold. They're going to drop for the bound hole. A good time at the 30 mark to go into a listen-in with Spacestation Gaming.
Okay.
You're triple.
Weak hell. Weak.
Up and Kevin.
Sure.
Two half, 3.
Top red, I think.
Half wall, one shot.
One shot pipe.
One shot, half wall.
One shot on ball.
Three there.
Grenade. Nice, grenade.
Ammo soon, I'm coming to you.
Ammo.
Let's go back.
Bottom here.
One shot ready. After reload.
Shot pipes. Two more. Two more pipe or weak.
Bottom BR still.
Bottom here, dead.
Frosty and Snakebite.
Watch your turbine. We got him.
Snakebite's half wall. Or Frosty's half wall. Going pipes.
Yeah, and top A.
Just live.
I'm gonna get ball. Frosty's on you bound. I think we need kills. Guys.
Fine. I'm just getting the ball out.
Wait. I can get ball. All the way to blue. Okay, yeah. Top cat now on me.
Have your help,
I need it.
Just up cap, Royal 2. Just up cap.
Bottom tower.
Two dead. Renegade.
He's on me.
He's C. You guys gotta push it out now. Push it out now. Fuck the ball and push it out.
Turbine weak.
Watch out.
Might be glass braided, okay?
Yeah.
Wanna be alright?
Hold red. Go on, you guys.
Bottom here again.
Right here, Braden. C stairs.
Go, Adam, you can stay back silo, we can melt.
Remember one guy.
Back silo.
On the jump. I played it. Go red.
Yeah, he's on the silo jump.
Long kill.
Out the listening, back into the gameplay. It's SSG who have commanded a lead here. One of the biggest we've seen so far in this game, this round number 3.
Yeah, Faze holds off pretty well, right? When we got to that listening, it was 30-0, so not really a lot of time lost. However, a lot of time lost on the clock. By the way, through all of this, the slaying difference has slowed down just a bit. Now it's a 6-kill lead here for Faze, but Faze is still out slaying, but it's not translating to points on the board.
And this is something we've always questioned, right, with this Faze lineup. A lot of slaying potential. Are you turning it into wins in games? Are you picking up the oddball? Are you getting the play, the kills in the right place? Well, Stellar, he's going to put 2 in the death screen with that push. Royal 2 not being able to convert on those kills, and they're the important ones. They're the ones that matter.
They really are, and those are also the kills that you expect every single player on Faze to convert there. Just a little bit of tough target tracking when you got multiple players coming. Oh! Killing spree for Stellar with the shock as well. They will continue to hold here. 61-21 in your 3rd round.
And the great thing for SSG here is they're picking up these kills. They're looking really strong, but they don't have to worry about ball time too much right now. Faze have to continually think we need this oddball in our hands.
Yeah, oh, look at this, a double nade there from Eco. Just great pre-nades coming into tower. Will shut down Renegade, which is exactly what you need to do. Eventually, 2 will fall for SpaceStation. Is this the opening and the opportunity for Faze to bounce back?
We talk about Eco's decision-making there. He knew he was getting a shock rifle player was trying to kill him, but also recognized that the most important kill on the map was Frosty. So completely disregarded the first and tried to concentrate on a second. Didn't quite work in the way that maybe he would have wanted with the kills going their way, but Faze starting to look a little bit desperate here. You can see they're forcing fights. They're flooding in. Renegade picking up 1 and Royal 2 with that ball in his hands. Maybe there's an opportunity, but a big 1v1 to be won here by Renegade.
Yeah, Penguin was your last player alive. Bound was a spawner, and Penguin somehow wisely stays alive. Just going to wrap around and hope for the help to come. All 8 players up. Let's see what kind of damage he could do for the opener.
Oh, has Penguin got the time in here? Royal 2's got no shields. Flies through. He does get the time in. Frosty now in a 1v1. Penguin! Whoa! Smashes through the Faze setup.
We said, what can he do for the opener? How's that? 3 dead for Faze. He's your last player alive. He takes a beautiful route from stacks to the Mangler door, and he gets underneath the Faze radar.
I mean, Faze just lost track of him. It's as simple as that, like you say. Not showing up in their radar whatsoever. He gets through Royal 2, gets picked off. He wins a massive 1v1 engagement. And then he gets that ball out and causes some more problems. SSG, those kind of players are going to win your games.
Exactly. Those are round-winning plays coming out of Penguin. What more can you ask for? Last player alive, he takes a hell of a route to pick up a double kill and blow the setup wide open. However, it's once again 2 dead for SSG, maybe 3 dead in a moment. Can Faze turn this into more points? They're down by 50.
Starting to look a little bit desperate here for Faze. They need to get the ball in their hands, but just a reminder, if you missed the winners bracket final, one of the rounds between these 2 teams ended 100-99, so that's how close it can be, and there is no doubt in my mind that Faze can turn this on its head.
Yeah, they've got a lot of time actually as well. 1:35 on the clock. Of course, the clock will stop whenever the ball is held, so still a lot of time to play with here. However, minor man advantage. It's a 2-man advantage now for SSG.
It's going to be 3 as Eco picks up another one. Frosty last alive. Odd ball is in a position as well where SSG can pick this one up, and let me tell you, if they play this one right, then we might have to start thinking about having a long evening here in Dallas.
Oh, I think we already are, and you know that Stellar's thinking about the same thing. It's another killing spree for Stellar. We've lost track, to be honest, at this point, and now, just like that, SSG goes into the slaying lead as well for the first time across 3 rounds.
2 dead here for Faze Clan SSG. Penguin with the ball in his hands, and he's going to see a victory screen on his monitor as well. SSG will win Recharge Oddball. 1 more game, and we reset the bracket.
Wow, as you said, what a series it's been so far, setting us up for a long evening here at DreamHack Dallas, and we would love nothing more than to see this go the distance. As you see, a lot of games already under the belt of these players. They're going to take a minor break here on the main stage, but what a poetic match to watch from our stat screen on set. The entire game, Faze leading anywhere between 5 and 11 slays, even while losing each round. SpaceStation is winning outslayed. In the final moments of our 3rd round, they will end the game outslaying Faze 132 to 131.
Wow, that is a crazy turnaround coming from SSG, and a lot of that was down to Stellar and Penguin, I feel, in those final moments. I mean, we always talk about, you know, kills are great. Kills are fantastic. You need kills in Halo to do anything, right? But it's the pivotal ones, it's the important ones that completely change the complexion of what you expect to see happen next. Penguin staying alive, bottom middle, sneaking through to the Mangler door and getting that double kill. that won them the game. It's as simple as that. And if you're Faze, it's a miscommunication. You're going, how did we not think about Penguin where he was?
Also, how about Penguin being the one that grabbed the ball at batteries, right, when they took their eye off the ball as well? He won that round as well. So late game plays from Penguin secure both of the rounds for SSG. But I couldn't agree more. That is going to be a moment, regardless of what happens in this tournament. That was such a pivotal moment that Faze will be watching the VOD on that. They're going to be watching all 4 players' POVs and thinking, how did we allow a player whose bottom stacks, here's the play right on your screen, how do we allow a single player to come through, kill our carrier, and then win another 1v1 in back elevator to shut down any hopes of a hold?
I mean, you saw as well that Frosty got first shot in that battle. Frosty was full shields, and Frosty, he just got turned on. I mean, Penguin was perfect in that fight. And usually you would expect Frosty to be able to convert on that situation. But if you're Faze, you're kind of like, whose responsibility was that? Well, it's all of your responsibility. Everybody has to be tracking.
Right.
Where is Penguin as last player alive? Who saw him last? What can we expect to see? And who isn't watching bottom elevator?
Absolutely. You have to think in the columns there needs to be something. I mean, you hear it from the best teams during listen-ins. There are call-outs like, we have lost track of one, right? We're losing one. We don't know where one player is. And especially, though, Penguin, your last player alive. It's an example of that needed to be prioritized, and maybe they just didn't think he would get to Mangler Door as fast as he did. However, he got there, and boy, did he ever make the most of it.
He certainly did indeed. Now, questions to be asked of Faze Clan. They've had some really tough series so far in this tournament, of course, and we're going to talk about Slayers and we're going to talk about games that are going to be coming up in just a few moments. I mean, you're looking at KDs, you're looking at damage stats that are coming in on your screen right now, but I want to talk about how, you know, in that first series, it was Faze and it went to a game 5, and Faze have been involved in many game 5s, and even though they're down at the moment in this series 3-1, they are good at sending series long. They are never checked out of a series. They are always in a position to turn it on its head. And who knows? Even though in our grand finals we're not going to see a game 5 because we got a best of 7 here, it's going to be an opportunity maybe for Faze to keep that in the front of their mind that they've been here before and they can turn a series on its head.
And let's not forget, this game was close until the late game, right? If you didn't happen to catch this version of Aquarius Slayer when these two teams played this earlier this weekend, this game ended 50-38. That's a blowout victory at this level of professional Halo. However, that game was close up until the 30 mark, and it was Faze that found really great late game composure that they lacked in the last game that we just saw. We'll have to see if they can repeat on Aquarius Slayer.
And of course, we mentioned this previously when we were talking about Slayer game types. Eyes are going to be unbound. Did you see his KD on that previous game? I think it was 0.39, which was a very, very low KD for a player like Bound in such an important Slayer game that could decide a series. Well, he's got an opportunity to decide a series here. If he puts in a massive performance on this game type, adjusts what he was doing, and somehow puts those stats a little bit closer to 0, then maybe we're going to see a bracket reset here, and SSG are going to force Faze to go again.
And you also have to think on the side of Bound. Bound led that game in kills, 37 and 32 across all 3 rounds. Bound is firing on all cylinders. He's leading the entire lobby in slays, and if he can bring that last game slay energy into this one, they're going to fare pretty well in the Aquarius Slayer.
They certainly are indeed. Another thing to keep an eye on is camo control. I mean, you saw what Trippy did with it for Optic yesterday. Absolutely nuts. I think he got 5 in a row and ended up putting up 21, 22 kills in that Slayer game on Aquarius. It is so vital that if you aren't in a position to get it, you're contesting it, hunting that player down before he can get away and really cause some problems. And another thing that's being controlled extremely well is the heat wave. I think it's something that really isn't kind of talked about enough on Aquarius Slayer. A heat wave player can dominate one side of the map on his own.
Right, and especially with the things that we're seeing in this series, right? Players are able to hit wild movement into 1v2s that they have no business winning. Let's look at what Penguin just did in that last game. You give any of the players that are in that scenario as last player alive a heat wave, they could totally turn down what is otherwise a big advantage for the other side. They can slow that down, even get 1v2s out of it, and make sure that they set their team up for success off of the spawn, and maybe even maintain map control.
Yeah, it's so fascinating, this series, and you got to think about Faze right now. They're probably thinking, you know, how are we in this position? How are we in this position? But at the same time, someone's got to say, hey, we played these guys before on it and we smashed them when we matched up on this exact game type. So it's a real kind of dichotomy of what is going through the minds of Faze right now. How do you pull yourself out of, you know, a couple of back-to-back map losses and try and flip the mentality back to, hey, we beat these guys. There's no reason this series isn't going to keep going.
Absolutely. That's what they have to remind themselves. And a long evening here is what SpaceStation's ready for, and already leading in this series by quite a margin, only 1 game away now from sending us to a grand finals reset. Big numbers coming out of that 3 rounds of oddball. You have to think that's a lengthy oddball, right? It's starting to get now deep into the series, and I think a lot of stamina is going to come into play. Let's not forget, Faze coming in the way that they did. They've had less games overall under their belt. SSG coming into the series pretty hot.
Yeah, they certainly are, and something I just noticed there is you can see the players are getting ready to get into this game. The cheeky little smile coming in from Kevin Smith. Now, usually, Eco is all business, but you can kind of sometimes get a little bit of an indication of how SSG are feeling if you keep your eyes on him through the, we'll say the pre-game chats and lobbies, and just the corner of the mouth turned upwards there. There was a little smile on his face, and that gives an indication that SSG are feeling it right now. They want to get into this game. They want to close this series out and give themselves a real opportunity at becoming champions here in Dallas.
Yeah, you mentioned Eco there, 1.05 in Slayers overall, doing pretty well and making sure to stay positive throughout the game so far. As we look across to the Faze side in the Slayers, there's some standouts, unsurprisingly. Renegade right now overall 1.21 in Slayers, not far behind its Royal 2 on a 1.20.
Yeah, no surprise to see those names positive. I mean,
yeah. I think they've been positive since birth.
Yeah, exactly. I think Royal 2, a lot of people would say probably the best KD player in the history of Halo. You know, the man does not go negative, and if he does, trust me, he will make some excuses as to why that happened. But it's up to Faze now to deal with this, to put themselves in this situation. They've been in this situation a couple of times. They've already pulled off one reverse sweep at this tournament, and now they're going to have to find a way to find form, turn this series back on its head, and ask questions again of Space Station. It's Aquarius Slayer. This is a game type we have seen already between these two teams at this tournament. Faze took it this time. If Space Station can, we are resetting the bracket.
That's right. We'll see Faze once again. A little bit of confidence, maybe in the back of their mind. The fact that they won this game 50-38. When they last played Space Station, maybe just that extra boost, maybe the little bit of mental fortitude they need to make sure that they have the stamina, the endurance to take this series the distance. But in order to get there, they will need to take this do-or-die Slayer before they get into our next series. They want to send this first one the distance if they can. Not going to be easy, though. Space Station looking hot.
They certainly are indeed. We're going to get into this game as soon as we can, of course. We'd like to just build the tension for a few extra seconds. But I think everyone who's watching this at home at the moment, there's kind of an extra level of interest, right? Coming into this tournament, the talk was all about Optic Gaming. Can you pull off the 4P? And I would say if we didn't have that Faze Invitational online, that probably would have been the story, right? Yeah. Because Optic was still the team to beat. They were still the one who were winning the majority of the online tournaments. But there was a lot of discussion about, you know, should Optic have been third seed coming into this tournament? Well, you're looking at how the results have gone in the tournament, and everything has kind of worked out in the way that the form would suggest from the online tournaments. And SSG really did throw a spanner in the works, you know. And I say that because it's crazy to say, you know, these guys are probably the most consistent team in the entirety of Halo Infinite, only missing out in the grand finals once, but SSG just reminded everyone, it's like, all this talk of Optic and Faze, all this talk of Optic and Faze, what about us? We're pretty damn good as well.
Yeah, like you said, I think the timing of that Faze Invitational qualifier was perfect for SSG, because I think, like you said, the story was all about Optic and Faze coming out of Charlotte, and rightfully so. It was one of the best grand finals we have ever seen, not just in Halo Infinite, but in competitive Halo history. It was unforgettable, and that took the story in the community. It's all about Optic Faze. Can Faze take down Optic? And SSG's thinking, I don't think people remember what we've done in this game, and even before this game, they're very happy to be where they are. They earned their first seed in an unbelievable online tournament run. They've done the same here with incredible sets of play, and they've continued that on in our grand finals as they lead 3-1.
It's almost like Optic and Faze fans were arguing with each other, and Space Station fans were kind of trying to put their hand up in the middle of it. It's like, guys, we won a few as well, but we'll have to find out if SSG are going to have to continue and refine that form again. As we go back into our grand finals now, they need one more map to reset the bracket of Faze, who have already won this game type, looking to keep it going long.
Man, and how much pressure here on this Aquarius Slayer for the side of Faze. They need to know that early on, they cannot be the ones making mistakes. They need to place a fantastic Halo. Snakebite somehow stays alive in a 1v1 against Stellar.
Take his time here to get the shields back as well, because two players have already picked up kills, and the first camo, speaking of pickups, is going to go into the hands of Frosty. Now, Frosty, last time these two teams met up, he had a huge amount of assists, led the way for his team. And this time, with the camo in his hands, maybe he's going to assume the role of being the one to pick up the kills.
We talk about how Faze plays the best under the most pressure. We've talked about that this weekend already, and we've seen that be the case even in a Slayer. Also, on Slayer Aquarius, you remember, we saw them play some of their most disciplined Halo, they've ever played against a few lower-seeded teams. We saw that bring out the best in Faze, and you got to think with everything on the line, that's how they're going to play here in this Game 5 as well.
Look at how elusive SSG are being right now. Frosty's done so much damage, but no kills have been picked up. Camo has now disappeared. That's not going to be effective on the map, and now he has the heat wave to play with. So if you're looking at power on the map, it's all in the hands of Faze. They got that first camo. It's only a 1-kill lead off the back of it, though, and this is something we saw in the first Slayer, right? Early camo control, early power-up control, going over to Faze, but it was SSG who came out with a win in the end.
You could just tell how much pressure. My goodness, Frosty connecting from distance with the heat wave, going to get another one as well. Make that a double kill. He's got more on the screen.
Up for him. It's a triple kill here for Frosty as he shows how effective that heat wave could be in the back of the base. And we said the game was close. Well, Frosty's just blown it open.
Yeah, Faze starting to just pull away here. It's an early three-kill lead for Faze as they start to put the points on the board.
3 kills, the difference between the two. And this is where you want to kind of keep it if you're on the lower side of that scoreline. But Snakebite and Royal 2 are going to combine, and the 4-kill difference is a massive one. We do see big swings. We talk about it on Aquarius Slayer, but at the moment, the kill feed is only painted in one color, and that's red.
And oftentimes you see Aquarius Slayer can be a relentless, just high-pressure game type. This is looking a little bit different. You can tell how much is riding on this Slayer because it's a lot more calculated on the pushes. It looks so different from that game number 1 where they're flying at each other. Here, instead, we're seeing a lot more timing pushes, a lot more calculation going into the movement around the map.
Well, at the moment, Snakebite's looking for the call out on P1. Unfortunately, Stella's managed to evade him. Stella will be taken down by Frosty, so finally they do find out where B went, and Frosty's going to turn a single kill into a double. It's 20-16, a dangerous-looking lead starting to pick up here for Faze, and Frosty, well, you're not going to be able to see him for a few more moments.
Oh, look at this play from Frosty as well, just slowly moving around the map, not shooting just yet, just a few pings going down for the info, a 3v3 on the map as he pushes into blue.
I mean, cue the Jaws music as he walks in, picks up one on Stella, bound trapped on the fridge as well. Damage being done on those stairs, the pink stairs, but Frosty's going to get spied out. He doesn't get the trade. And Bound and SSG bait him in beautifully.
Depending on how the score goes from here, that could be a moment that we reference back to because that was a big opportunity for Faze and somehow shut down for SSG. However, Faze continues to convert and they pick up the heat wave off the kills and now a 7-kill lead, 25-18.
Even though it was the camo player who went down, the opportunity was not missed by Faze. It's been converted at a 26-20 as Stella picks up the 20th kill here for SSG. Faze keep that cushion.
Nice shots here as well from Royal 2, just continuing to hold top middle as well. It feels like they have held not just the lead on the scoreboard, but also top middle as well. The fadeaway! Triple kill with the thrust from Royal 2.
Oh, what a thrust that was! Royal 2 just sends himself backwards, hits the perfect shots for the triple kill. And at 31-21, that is a hammer blow for SSG to deal with.
When wow, with a 10-kill lead here now and all the hype, all the pressure maybe coming off here. Let's get into a listening with Faze.
Nice camo now, guys. Camo now.
Same thing. Camo, guys.
Yeah, try to help PG get this clean. Yep.
Have car on me?
Do the same thing.
Yeah, keep moving.
I'm holding main car. I'm holding main car.
I have camo, guys. I'm just backing up. One shot top blue. One shot top blue.
Yeah, I don't think anybody
got
it. Oh, John. Lots on John.
Top car. Yeah, one shot P2. Nice. You want it blue vent, guys? Yellow vent. Blue vent.
Yeah.
I'll save. Still yellow vent. He's just
Nice. Good job, PJ.
Nice. Huge. I just want yellow. Top car again. Yeah. Car 3.
One shot engine. Absolute.
I can kind of
there. He's on the pistol. One in. He's just walking at it with camo.
Heady, man.
Nice. One more eco. They're swanning blue. They're gonna swan blue. One in.
Oh, nice
one
shot.
on the heady.
Two there. One low, one high. One low,
engine bridge reach sailor. You can ape that.
There's 2 pistol. No. We're fighting 3.
One shot engine.
Yeah.
I think we should. One shot.
I did.
Yo,
car 3 right now. I'm hiding blue street.
Yeah.
Work together, guys. Work together.
Yo, we'll fight 10,
P1 or something. P1. No, kill front yellow.
In front blue.
Yellow fire.
I'm looking yellow fire.
There's 2.
Yeah, they're gonna try to help.
One shot yellow fire, Brad. One shot yellow fire, Brad.
Nice, PJ. Good kill. Last guy yellow streams. Last guy yellow streams. Push it up. Last guy's yellow.
Cross him.
I'm behind him.
Back into the game, and Faze are looking to close the game out. Frosty picks up the 42nd kill. It's a 12-kill differential, and it's this man on your screen who's been the catalyst of everything. He's 12-6.
And how about a 12-kill differential also being the difference maker? 50-38 the last time these two teams played this game type, and it's looking like deja vu and fantastic news for Faze fans.
Oh, Stella almost got turned on himself. The sidekick was a problem for a few moments. Renegade comes in to trade the kill out, and I think that SSG probably recognize at this point, Andy, as experienced as they are, as good as they are, that they might have to play yet another map of Halo Infinite here. Faze are looking so strong.
Yeah, they want to end this series, so they're quickly realizing that this map will not be the one to do it. It's been an unbelievable game number 5 here from Faze.
3 camos in a row for Faze. That's been the difference maker, as well as the man on your screen. He's 13-7, 6 assists to go alongside it as well, and he's reading them like a book. A couple of grenades went down, but didn't quite get the contact they would have wanted. Royal 2 looking to move in now quietly once again, going about his business. There's 3 shots, there's a trade. It's going to be done, and Faze Clan answer back on Aquarius Slayer.
And what a run that looks like that is their game type, especially when we talk about these two teams facing off against each other in that exact matchup. It's a repeat of the first time those two teams played, and you have to think that's probably in the back of Faze's mind, and if we're honest, probably also in the back of SSG's mind as well, after having only played that game type about 24 hours ago in an earlier series. Faze will repeat, take the game, and bring the series now overall within just 1 game and look to force us all the way to a Game 7.
Well, the cool thing is here, if you're an SSG fan, you're starting to worry a little bit. It's like, oh, goodness me, Faze looked pretty good in that one. You have to say it's one of Faze's best game types, right? Aquarius is a map where they dominate a lot of different teams, whether it be Flag, whether it be Slayer. But the next game type we're going on to is a SSG favorite. It's Street Strongholds, one that they can certainly put the pressure back on.
They certainly can, and just to tee this up, Spacestation Gaming is 2-0 in this game type. Faze 0-2 in Dallas. What did we say earlier? If Faze wanted to win this tournament, the fastest track to do that in terms of the series layout was the earlier games. Those were their game types where they had the advantage. Now we're getting into the later part of the series where Spacestation Gaming has the advantage, not just historically, but in Dallas as well.
Some of these replays, that triple kill from Royal 2 though, that was the final thing you felt that really put the nail in the coffin for them. Just that thrust perfectly timed as well, and the shot just snaps onto him. To really extend that lead for them. That's going to fill him with confidence. That's going to fill everyone with confidence. And one thing I took away from the listening with FaZe there, they sound pretty positive. They sound like they're here to play, and they sound like they're all responding to each other in the way that you would expect from a championship winning team.
Yeah, we talk about how important that dynamic is on that squad, and they sound great indeed on the comms, and you would with a 12-kill lead in AQUARIUS Slayer, and I couldn't agree more. That's another NBA Finals-inspired thrust fadeaway. Just beautiful timing there. The confidence from Royal 2. The thought there is that when there's a player in the courtyard that they're hung out to dry, and Royal 2 knows that, so he thrusts back for the triple kill, does it with style, and now we have a 3-2 Space Station lead as FaZe will look to force a final Game 7 of the series.
Yeah, if it goes to Game 7 as well, FaZe could close it out right here, right now in that first series, and SSG won't have an opportunity to reset the bracket, and those are the thoughts now that start coming into the back of your head. If you're SSG, previous game thinking, just got to win one more, boys, just got to win one more, but the more games that slip away, you start thinking about the fact that maybe the whole thing's going to slip away from you. So they've got to answer back now, and it's the perfect game type and map combination for them to do so. It's Street Strongholds, SSG, damn good at this one.
Really good at this game type. That's going to be in the back of their mind as well. As we said, undefeated in this map game type combination specifically. FaZe yet to win this game type here in Dallas. Might we just see a bracket reset here and now in game number 6? Looks like not just yet because it is a false start on the main stage.
Making sure that everything is where you need it to be before we get into this game. But again, you see FaZe, they're locked in. Space Station, they're locked in. They want to get this one going as soon as possible. As do we.
We can't wait, if we're honest.
I want to do it now.
I want to do it right now. So do the guys on all sides of the stage here. We can't wait to get into this 6th game. But like you said, that's a big, big advantage here for the side of SSG. But let's not forget, with a team like FaZe, doesn't matter what the historical record might be. They're going to know how to play this game type. They're going to have a lot of time to watch VOD, not just from Charlotte, but from all of the online 4Ks as well as they approach this event. And they'll know exactly what SSG is going to want to do, not only the opening, but the overall strategy as well.
Don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here because obviously we've got this map in front of us and there's a long way to go. You know, this could be an SSG reset in the bracket right now. We might not go to the Game 7. But you saw it coming.
But
I want smart man.
Go on, I want to hear it.
But it's very interesting the Game 7 when you're looking at the records, right? Because 1-on-1, FaZe find themselves. They lost to Hive yesterday, 50-37. That's a blowout, and it's going to be live fire Slayer as our last game. And you look at the other side, there's a loss also coming in for SSG in this tournament. And I'm pretty sure that was against Optic Gaming. So both teams a little bit 50-50 on that game type, which makes it kind of fun to try and predict what's going to happen.
Yeah, certainly could be a little bit of a coin flip there. A slight game advantage coming in for SSG. But as you said, losses across the board in live fire Slayer. If we get there, which to be honest, we're not ever opposed to a Game 7. But we'll go ahead and see. Game 6 first on your screen. As we mentioned, that's going to be Stronghold Streets. And if we know anything about this game type with how this series has played out so far, this will be an absolute high-paced bloodbath of a game type here.
And it's going to come down to individual moments. There's going to be times on the map where there's only one player alive from both teams and there's a 1v1 engagement to defend a stronghold, to reset a stronghold. And that's where the game is going to be decided. Also, of course, the Rockets. We've already had a Streets game in this series, which was taken away, of course, by Space Station, who kept it close even without the power weapons. But when they got them, that's when they took over the game. That's when they closed it out. And that's going to be such a vital part of this game as well. FaZe looking to tie up the series. It's 3-2 for Space Station. If SSG win this one, we go again.
These two teams in the biggest series of their season so far. It goes without saying now. 3 dead off the opening here for SSG. Royal 2 with a rocket crowd.
I was 4 dead off the break. That's about as quick as a start as you could ask for. And at the moment, SSG, Eco spawned twice, dying twice.
Wow, look at this trip cap immediately. Faze Clan is wasting no time. It's a perfect opening for Faze Clan.
Oh, Faze Clan, look, they might be taking over a little bit here. It is a perfect start from them. Eco taken down as well. Manages to get the trade at least. So it's a 2v2 on the map, but 34 points already on the board. The triple cap is still in effect here for Faze.
Like you said, 3 times Ego's come off spawn and been taken down already. It's already now 43-0. C will finally be capped, but Renegade has something to say about that. Flies in with the Bulldog and only takes minimal damage.
Bulldog goes woof woof bark, takes him down, and Penguin now finds himself as the last player alive again for Faze Clan. And we've talked about the high skill ceiling. We feel like Faze have the highest skill ceiling when it comes to them playing at their best. Well, at the moment, this is how good they can be.
Interesting there. Look at the dance between Penguin and Snakebite. Eventually, Snakebite's going to have to double back here over to C and finish it. Does not know where Penguin went. Penguin finally comes around for the trade, and that's what we're talking about at this level of competitive Halo. The dance is so drawn out because both teams have a perfect understanding based on their team's composition of exactly which way they can and can't move around the map. You're going to see consistent trades like that.
Really interested to see Royal 2's decision making here. That is brilliant from Royal 2. I want to take a second to appreciate that. Yeah, he comes out if it gets a 1-for-1 trade, but stepped into the stronghold, saw the spawn and decided, hey, I know if we're stepping in this stronghold that someone's going to try and take that pizza jump angle. Instead of trying to just cap it and give 3 shots away with someone just flanking onto him, takes the 1v1, gets that kill. SSG do a good job to trade it out, but that's just prime awareness coming in from R2.
Yeah, it really is. You're going to continue to see more and more of those mind games as well, right? One step ahead of whatever the play might look like is what you're going to expect to see from both sides of the stage. 3v3 here momentarily.
Well, the momentum from that previous game kind of started to flow over into the start of this one we see on our screens right now, but SSG have stabilized. They've found a way to finally slow down this momentum and have control of A and B. But off the back of it, you can see that Faze have picked up another set of rockets, and it's another double kill here for Snakebite.
I mean, that's what we talk about, individual plays. Yeah, it looks easy picking up rocket kills, but at this high level, you need to make sure your rocket efficiency is at 100%. There's nobody else you trust more than Snakebite to hit those. Spacestation, though, still with AC control.
AC control, but not for long, as you can see that Faze are going to be making the play to convert A back into their hands. Stellar taking some damage here from Snakebite. My goodness, those shots were good. And Renegade and Frosty, they capitalize off the back of it. SSG4 dead, and forget about the record books at this point, Andy. Faze have looked phenomenal.
And it's a perfect PD trap as well. Frosty stayed alive back A for quite a while. He's going to back off just a little bit here to Cafe to pitch the angles, but right now they will continue scoring with a very comfortable BC hold and continue even to apply the pressure at A.
Yeah, it's brilliant coming in from Faze Clan. I mean, you called it perfectly. Frosty already pushed up, already damaging spawners, and unfortunately, just the pieces fell apart a little bit. The idea was there, but SSG, huge amount of credit to them. They read the situation perfectly, and somehow they've managed to not only keep B in their control, but flip A off the back of it. So Faze are going to have to break again.
Not over just a killing spree there for Renegade. He'll eventually trade out with Bound, but as you said, it's a great push from SpaceStation. Not easy to do out of PD to get the kills you need to get A and B, and now putting more points on the board. They're down by about 60.
That lead is certainly being cut down, though, piece by piece, inch by inch. Spacestation Gaming are starting to get a little bit more interested in this game. Eco going to fly forward. He's going to fall, though, and it's going to be 3 dead again for SpaceStation. B is the call. Bound trying to stay alive.
What?
Just about manages to do so, and now he's got Stellar Spawn to support.
Oh my God, look at Bound staying alive. How does he stay alive? Those are the bold, crazy plays that we expect to see from Bound. He gets a spawner, but it might not pay off in the end because of the great collapse coming in from Faze.
You saw Royal 2 didn't ever get desperate to get the kill, though. He knew what the situation was. He waits for a little bit of help to come in, and not only do they kill Bound, they get 2 kills off the back of it. It's another set of rockets here going into the hand of Faze Clan, and SpaceStation, you can't let this happen.
Another killing spree here for Renegade as well. Right now they're outslaying 39-21, just about doubling the kills of their opponents and also doubling their score as well.
Penguin last alive, he's trapped in PD, and at the moment, it's not looking like this is the game type that maybe SSG wanted to see. It's Faze who are taking control and looking for yet another triple cap. But do not count SSG out, even though this has been a hot start. SSG can triple cap themselves and turn this game on its head.
Renegade was your last player alive for a moment. The reset does come in on A here, and Renegade just being an absolute nuisance staying alive. Might even pick up another one.
Oh, Bound's a menace, though.
Beautiful answer that clear from Bound. Snakebite, however, will be there to clean up the scraps, but we're getting now to the 140-73 mark, and as you said, still a lot of games still to play here.
A lot of game, and it's going to be a battle maybe for B. I mean, just see what the play call is from Faze. Are they going to try and flip the ends here? Are they going to try and play for C? As B is taken away from them by SpaceStation. It looks like entry damage and the call will be made off the back of it. Eco, though, Penguin focusing their fire to fall for Faze. And all of a sudden, I mean, this has been Faze so far in this game. But look at the score. It's 140, 96, and rising. It's SpaceStation. They are back into this, and it's 100 points the mark they cross.
Frosty was your last player alive. Unbelievable team shot coming in from B, and B stairs there to isolate the players on the spikes. Faze was not ready for that team shot. In the end, it leads to continued BC control, and just like that, it is a 25-point game.
And the crazy thing is, Andy, look at the slays. It's not close. SpaceStation are being outslayed heavily by Faze, and they are still very much in this game, still scoring as finally Faze break through onto B.
Just like you say, it's 48-30 in the slay column. It's a 20-kill difference, but here we are, only a 17-point difference on the scoreboard.
SSG staying in this. You have to wonder if they start to heat up, if they get a couple of rockets, if they can make the most of the sandbox, if they can make something happen. But look at the kill feed. 2 rocket kills again for Faze. Every single power weapon has gone to them every single time, and now it's a triple cap for them.
Triple cap continues. Eventually B will start to flip. That should be a comfortable flip for Spacestation Gaming, but like you said, when these teams are so closely matched, the Rockets will decide big rounds of slays and big rounds of points on the board as well. They cross the 180 mark.
Snakebite's going to be out of pinch here. You can see Frosty and him working alongside to try and help Royal 2 survive. Royal 2 can't do so, but by creating that space, now Snakebite has an opportunity to convert B. He gets the conversion. He's still alive here somehow or other. The Bulldogs here as well. Stella peeks around the corner, will be traded out. 2v2 on the map.
Snakebite putting on a clinic. Somehow he just gets his heels in to control that little B reset. Also now still BC hold for them, 202 to 123.
200-point mark has been crossed. SpaceStation, who did make an effort to come back in this game, to really send it deep. Well, now Faze are starting to look like they want to end it here and now. A is going to be flipped into their hands, and you can see already Frosty, he's already inside a C. He's already putting pressure on the transporters, and now he's going to hit the shots onto Bound as well. The rotations from Faze have been exceptional.
While calling the botanist there, Frosty just flies through, fires a few shots through the ferns, and picks up a kill against a red gun player. Not easy to do, especially up against Bound, and it's a killing spree as well.
Stella as well. There's 1, there's 2, maybe it's going to be 3 for him. If Stella falls, Bound falls as well. Penguin last alive. Flip B is the call coming in from Faze, and they will continue scoring.
Big run here needed from SpaceStation, and some very big pushes as well. Can they do it? Can they end this series here, or will we see a game number 7?
Well, if they can get the rockets, maybe there's a chance. First kill going their way is going to be useful. Renegade trades it out though, 3v3 on the map. Frosty now moving down towards the laundry. He'll get taken down as well, and this is a similar pattern to maybe what we saw in the previous game, where the last set of rockets that Faze did not get saw SpaceStation have a chance to get back into this game. Royal 2 wants him. Royal 2 might get him as well with those shots.
That's big. Bound's gonna maybe, no, he doesn't get the rockets. They trade out, so 2 dead for both sides. For the moment, Stellar was the last player alive. 1 rocket left in the courtyard.
Have to make the play onto C here. 234, they only need 250 points here to win Faze Clan. B is the call, and you can see Faze have stacked it up, but the reset comes in at the last second as Penguin gets the kill onto Snakebite.
Ooh, sneaky there from Royal 2 on the dumpster. Able to get 1 kill, but still 2 dead here for Faze.
No mistakes left here for SSG. Faze just needs to be patient. Need to wait for some numbers, but here comes Eco. Eco gets the trade and the reset, and Faze Clan find themselves 3 dead. Bound a bit taken down though by Renegade. Stella inside of A, and oh my goodness, everybody, there's a triple cap here for SSG.
What can Renegade do here? He needs to make sure he gets a kill out of this. He does. Somehow stays alive as the last player.
2 dead here for SSG. The triple cap will be stopped. Bound though, he'll be able to move towards B and control, and scoring will still be in the hands of SSG. Snakebite a 1v1, but here comes Royal 2, the long-time duo, to join him.
It's a beautiful team shot there. He was not expecting to get double teamed there in music. Eventually he will fall.
Frosty gets 1, they flip B. They might be about to close this game out. Spacestation Gaming are about to reset the bracket here in Dallas. We might be going the long way. No, Faze, actually, excuse me, I've misspoken. It's Faze who are in charge. C gets flipped by SSG, and A now gets reset by Faze. 250. Just a few moments away here for Faze. A desperate play on B. It won't happen, and Faze keep this series going.
Look at that, somehow, with fantastic late game work coming in from Faze to close it out. It was a trip cap, let's not forget. It was a trip cap around the 170 mark for SpaceStation. That is dangerous territory, as we saw up against ODDBALL Gaming. ODDBALL Gaming at 240 earlier, and SpaceStation at 134. They trip cap, they come back and win. We know that SpaceStation can bring those games back very easily, but FaZe, they hold strong. They maintain that B-hold to close out the game, and they force us to a Game 7 in our Grand Final #1. Take a look at some highlights, but if FaZe takes this, they'll take the tournament. However, SpaceStation Gaming looking to send us to a second best of 7.
Thank goodness you got your head screwed on. I got well into that. I was getting carried away, and now, like you say, it all comes down to a Game 7. And the but that we talked about earlier, it's a strange sentence I didn't think I'd say at the commentary desk, but it makes a little bit more sense because we're talking about the Slayer game type, right? We're talking about the game type which both teams have slept through their fingers a little bit. And it's very unpredictable to see what is going to happen and who is going to potentially win the championship. Could be FaZe, or we could go again if SSG can answer back.
And let's not forget, just in case you're just joining us here in the room at DreamHack or online, standing room only, by the way. We hope you're doing well here in Dallas. Just in case you didn't catch it, SpaceStation Gaming was up 3-1 in this series. They've had multiple chances to take this series and get ready for a second best of 7. Instead, FaZe has rallied back with their backs against the wall, do or die in both of our last 2 games to now force us to a series and potentially tournament deciding Game 7 Slayer.
I mean, FaZe have shown great resilience. There was a couple of moments in this series where you're kind of looking at the main stage, you're looking at the players like, who's going to be the guy? Who's stepping up here? And a little bit of dejection sometimes on the side of FaZe. I mean, they don't like losing games. It's very simple to see that for when you look at them. But SpaceStation now, well, I mean, you look at that. It's a tough series for them to answer back now in this Game 7. You go ahead 3-1, like you say. You've got all the advantages you could ask for. And then it's not just the way that they've let 2 games fall through their fingers and slip away. It's the style in which it's happened as well. FaZe have just taken them apart in the last 2 maps.
They absolutely have. And let's also talk about the slaying difference yet again in that last Game 6. FaZe outslayed 84-50.
It's not close.
By 34 kills, an unbelievable number. That tells you in the slaying department that FaZe knows what they're doing. Their objective efficiency, though, still questions to be raised when you outslay a team that heavily. However, they get the job done. That's what's most important. They get the extra W on the board. Now we'll look at their overall Slayer stats here at the HCS Global Invitational.
And you can see that there's one more in the last column for SpaceStation Gaming and a couple more on the side of FaZe that will wins. And most importantly for FaZe, Game 5 wins, series-winning wins in Slayers that have come at the back end of a tight series. So for FaZe, you would say, if you're looking through the tournament, they've been the ones that have iced up and really made these games count.
They have. One thing we got to also note, we talked about it earlier, but shout out to our stats man in the back, Easy Mac, pointing out, we did see FaZe suffer a 50-37 loss on live Fire Slayer to Hive, the artists formerly known as the Avengers, just yesterday. If we take a look at the record that SSG has, they're 2-1. They have a 50-35 loss to Optic, however, a 50-40 win versus Native White. They're 2-1, and you do see FaZe at 1-1.
One thing to point out here that is very easy to adjust for SSG in these Slayers against FaZe. It's just got to do a better job with overshields. Got to do a better job with them. Power-ups have always been in the hands of FaZe. Yeah. The last game, Rockets was always in the hands of FaZe. That happened in the previous Slayer on Streets as well. And you can't let it happen. It's just too simple for good players to put those to use. Now, with the overshield and the sniper rifle on the map here, SSG, if they're not going to be able to use it themselves, they need to get it out the hands of FaZe. You need to play it in the way that Snakebite was using ammo up of some of those weapons when he felt like he was about to die. And you're looking at stats here. You're looking at Slayers in this series. These are the players who have performed the best.
Yeah, what an interesting damage differential, too, right? These two are very, very close in terms of their overall KD and kills, but a huge damage differential just tells you about the playstyle of these two players, right? Penguin's getting in, doing the dirty work. Royal 2 sitting back and picking up the same amount of kills while taking a lot less damage. 2 things that I'm focused on in this particular Game 7, Mark. The first is, where's the opening damage? We could see time and time again, FaZe is not just getting the opening damage, but they are also going to convert on that. I'll pause the thought for a second, though, because a very important stat line coming in from the back. Map deciding records. FaZe is 4-0 here. SSG 0-2 on a series deciding game.
Well, the story here before we head into this final game is that we are going to have one of these teams potentially end that drought. FaZe, if they win this game right now, we're going to win the series. They are going to win the championship. SSG, they've got a long road ahead of them, but they have to win this game in order to reset that bracket and set us up for another best of 7. So this could well be the final game of DreamHack Dallas, and Faze Clan are going to hope it is.
They certainly are. And Faze, as we said before we saw that stat line come up, two things that I'm going to be looking out for. Faze is getting the opening damage. That's converting to the first kill. That's converting to the rocket grabs. Earlier in this game, it would convert into a sniper grab as well as overshield control. The second thing we need to watch is it feels like SSG may be playing a little bit less confident than normal, right? We need to see Bound flying out. We need to see Stellar flying out and making those low percentage plays that could result in really high risk, high reward plays. When they play confident, they can be at their best. I think in the last 2 games, Faze has got the opening damage, which has given them confidence, control, and it has snowballed into power up and power weapon control. We need to see, as you alluded to earlier, SpaceStation really controlling the pace of the game.
First 4 kills are going to be vital here as well. I mean, you look at the opening strategy of the last 2 games, and Faze got a 3 dead in the Aquarius Slayer, and we saw how that game went, and then they got a 4 dead off the rip in that street Strongholds. And from there, it was so difficult for SpaceStation to get back on the map for a good 60 seconds or so. Yeah. Not only they're pinned on split spawns, but they've got to go against Rocket, Stalker, Bulldog, whatever it might be. And here in this game, they cannot afford to at least trade out some kills to allow themselves back on the map and really force Faze to fight a fair fight.
And one thing that's most interesting as well, Slayer Streets and Slayer Aquarius, which are the Slayers we've seen so far in this series, are typically really fast-paced Slayers. Live Fire Slayer gives you the biggest opportunity to slow the game down. And with as much as riding on this game, you have to think going to be so much caution from both sides to make sure they're not the team making the big mistakes. However, when that overshield's popping, guess what? You gotta go. And that'll be the ultimate test here in game number 7. We are underway.
It's a game 7 here in our grand finals. Faze looking to close things out, and we're looking to reset the game because it's not quite ready yet. But when we do get back into it, the story will still be the same here, Andy. Faze, if they win this one, will be our champions. If it's SSG, we reset the bracket. And I love going back to what we were talking about at the start of the tournament as well, right? We were saying this is a team here on our screens, Faze Clan, who was built to win championships. One of the most difficult, I kind of alluded to this at the start of this final, one of the most difficult team changes, you know, spoke to Snakebite about this, he's ever had to make, you know, making the change from Lethal to Renegade, it was one of the toughest things he's ever had to do in his entire career. And the reason it was done was to try and win championships, right? And if you don't win championships after having to do something like that, it can really weigh on your mind. But a championship win here maybe will validate that decision for the whole roster. Yeah. And for SpaceStation, it's been a drought for a long time as well. Was Bound the right guy? I think everyone says that Bound is the right guy. He's proved that he's the right guy, but the only thing that's missing from that resume now is a championship.
That's right. That's the only thing missing. And also, you have to think about the trajectory. What this means for the year, right? We are now into the heat of the regular season here as we get ready for back-to-back-to-back events all summer long. There's a lot of Halo to be played here. And what it would mean for the trajectories of these teams. Both of these teams not just wanting the championship here, but to be the title holders heading into the rest of the events for the year.
Yeah, and I mean, the next event is only 3 weeks away. Yeah. So we're going to be flying through LAN events. There's going to be no waiting for these teams to really adjust too much. A little bit of practice is going to be going in, but we are going to be going straight at each other once more. But you can see the fist bumps are going down. And everybody who's watched these sports events knows that that means the game is about to start. The game 7, right at the end of this series we were hoping to see, is about to take place.
What a series it's been so far as well. What a weekend it's been at DreamHack Dallas. This could be your final game of the weekend here if Faze is able to close it out. However, SSG looking to send us the distance, to reset the bracket for another best of 7. Everything riding on this game. 50 kills to win, 12 minutes on the clock.
And what could be the most important 30 seconds of opening strategy for these two teams to decide who is going to have the momentum, who is going to get those weapons, and who is going to get map control to turn it into a lead for Faze. This could be championship match for SSG. They want to go again.
Crowd here excited at DreamHack Dallas, and so much riding on this matchup between these teams. Only one game to decide the series.
Bound gets the first kill. Bound gets the sniper rifle. Much, much better from SpaceStation. It's only 1 kill, but Faze haven't got control. Now Renegade's going to get spotted out, has to back away. But only for a second as the trade will come in.
One thing you might have heard all over the weekend in terms of these listenings is we take a look at the overshield popping up. Snakebite sitting right on it. Great shots against Bound, pinning him back. The flank comes around as well.
Penguin's going to win this one. Snakebite somehow stays alive and gets 2, and that might be an overshield now going into the hands of Faze.
Ooh, Stellar hits the body shot as well, but Stellar cannot convert. It's perfect timing, perfect push coordination from Faze as well. Now they lead 4-3.
4-3, but they have the ability now to push. Royal 2 is on the tower. Penguin, he's in the death screen as Snakebite flies forward with that overshield. overshield looking to take advantage and get the snipe out of the hands of SSG as well. The overshield push from Faze was effective. They have a lead, and they have the weapons.
Man, Stellar stayed alive. You might have noticed it off screen. So long back tower. Eventually, he ekes out a few extra kills, but still, as you mentioned, that will be now a 3-kill lead off of our opening for Faze. And once again, as I said, this map is going to allow these teams to slow things down just a bit, just because of how much pressure is on these teams. We'll slow down at 8-5.
Trades come in and around green. Snakebite drops down to keep the pressure on, though. It's going to be another kill going into the hands of Faze, who are now up 9-5, almost doubling the amount of kills that SSG have on the board for now. Game slowing down because the overshield is going to be coming up in around 20 seconds. Controlling this side of the map so vital to have the advantage here. Not only do you have the potential of the shroud screen being available to you, but you have the height over at the tower.
Like I said, this map is going to play as tactical as it comes. As shroud screen in the hands of Snakebite, by the way. Here comes Bound, though, just flying into C-Box. That's going to provide some equal pressure from the other side to get some good angles for SSG. Here goes the shroud.
Shroud goes down. Overshield gets grabbed. Even though 2 kills do go over to Space Station, it's the second in a row now for Faze.
If that nade hit, I swear, a fraction of a second earlier, Snakebite dies. Killing spree, though, for him on screen. Somehow, he sneaks away and still has 50% overshield left as well. There it goes, though.
Snakebite's 5-0 in this Game 7. He has been, in my personal opinion, the standout player for Faze so far in this tournament. So many Game 5, so many big moments where he has produced the goods that makes him one of the best players in Halo's history. 11-8 the score, though. Even though Snakebite has started this game well, there's a little bit of resilience being shown here by SSG.
Heavy nest C pressure here for Faze. We'll have to see if Space Station tries to take advantage of that. Instead, they try to go low. Those kills will be traded out. So far, though, 2v2 on the map. Snakebite making a low push here.
Yeah, having to stay alive as well. Doesn't really have too many shots in that heat wave to play with as well. And for the fact that SSG have let 2 overshields sneak away, well, kept this game pretty close, but I tell you what, Snakebite at the moment, he's 6-0. Sniper rifle coming up as well. The kills being timed perfectly again for Faze to grab one of the power-ups.
Like you said, Spacestation Gaming keeping it close really just until moments ago. Now a 6-kill lead is a pretty heavy one here. And Faze going to look to just play very, very disciplined Halo. They also have sniper control up on the top of the tower. And what a better time. It's a perfect opportunity for a listen in here with the Faze Clan up by 6.
Pillars, go me, and there's one shot. Yeah, he's
OB in 30, guys. OB in 30.
You wave on Reed, Chris. Play Brad.
Top tower, Brad. He's chasing Brad. Go, actually, no, they have 4 bullets. They have 4 bullets, I think. OB in 20, guys. Another one.
One dead. OB.
Everyone come in.
Done. Oh, no, OB. Careful.
OB in 10. I can flank.
One shot cuts. One shot on OB.
Yeah, we're all split here. Careful. No, I can get OB in 5, guys. OB in 5. Nice, Matthew. Yeah, no, one in.
You guys should go fight the OB together. You guys need to go. Smaller, Brad. Brad, if you finesse that too.
I got so much damage. Smaller, 2. I got it. Nice, John. Back up him again.
Yeah, I'm backing up.
Fine.
Chris, how long for you?
It's not for a bit.
Congrats on around.
Ew, listen, can we re-hit cuts?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Shoulder heat wave in like 5 seconds. John, I'm sliding out.
Ah, you're so...
3-kill advantage, 3 overshields in a row now for Faze. And you have to say Space Station felt like, from our point of view, that they were in the position to grab that.
Took the words out of my mouth. It felt like the angles that they had gave them an opportunity to at least challenge that sniper at tower to try to go for that overshield. Instead, Renegade ekes out with it, but just like that, it's still a 4-kill game at 21-17.
Timing on the heat wave as well. You just saw they've picked that up as well. So the difference between the 2 teams, still 4, which is very manageable for SSG. But they cannot afford to keep letting these power-ups. That's the difference through their fingers, because otherwise the lead is going to be so difficult to pull back. Renegade in this game, 6-6. But that play, that grab of the overshield might be a difference maker.
Oh, Renegade wins a battle. He had no business winning there. Now another battle here as that overshield gets ready to be battled for yet again. And you have to say, it feels an awful lot like Streets, right? Faze is winning, but by just a little bit with full power-up control. What happens if SSG starts to get some OVs?
Somehow Penguin stayed alive long there and managed to extend his life long enough for teammates to get in a position to keep him alive. 24-20 is the score. Space Station starting to get a little bit of control of the map now, but as you say, all eyes really from everybody here and at home are on where that next overshield's going. It's about to pop in around 20 seconds or so. Repulsor is going to be in the hands here of Stellar as well, so he can get up close and personal. Now he's getting all the information of where those spawns are coming in, so SSG are going to be careful not to get pinched here.
What happens with the C push? Kills being traded out. Like right now, 2v2 here. This is big before the OV pops in 11 seconds.
Love this from Stellar, trying to be aggressive, trying to put pressure on, but needs to survive. Royal 2 trying to challenge him himself. Another flank coming in. He's going to go back up the chimney. The reverse Santa Claus. Royal 2, though, is going to pop up and say hello. Takes it down to the death screen for a few moments as that 6-kill lead is starting to extend here. But the overshield does go to Eco, but no backsmack.
Somehow Eco stays alive. It looked like the backwhack was going to come in, but Eco stays alive. They get their first overshield of the game, and the game is still within 5 somehow.
5 kills the difference, but like you say, most importantly, finally SSG get control of an overshield. Renegade is going to be trying to flank through green, get some good angles, gets one onto Eco. And the game really is on a knife edge here. The series is on a knife edge. The tournament is on a knife edge.
Once again, we could not ask for a better grand final between these two. 34-27, the Faze lead now goes to 8 here. Snakebite with a sniper rifle in hand. That was 3 dead. And now continue control. What kind of angle is Snakebite going to take here on the nest and green spawners?
One headshot here and maybe we might be thinking about Faze running away with this one. Winning a Game 7 Slayer once again. Oh my goodness! Sends one to the heavens. And it's blessed on its way down. That plasma grenade is a game changer.
Guess what? The slaying dominance continues from Faze Clan. Now they're up by 11 kills in this game, which is really where it counts. 4:47 left on the clock. This is the home stretch for Faze, and you have to think this is looking like it might be their event.
Snakebite 12-6, double positive in a Game 7. Renegade chasing down Penguin for the killing spree. He's got Bound in front of him. Have a sleep, my friend. Puts him in the dirt as well. And the triple kill might have just sealed the deal here for Faze.
They're doing it with style. It's a 12-kill lead here. Only 8 kills to go for Faze Clan. And what kind of miracle does SpaceStation need to bring this game back?
Stella gets 1, but you feel like maybe this is just too much of a mountain to climb. Frosty gets another. It's 7 to go now for Faze. Overshield is pretty much the only way back into the game for SSG, but you know that Faze are going to be challenging a couple of trades, and they move within maybe 4, maybe 5 kills of closing this out. Royal 2 gets the first kill as well. Eco gets taken down to no shields, but where is the overshield going? Frosty with the spike grenades doesn't get the kill. Did Stella get it?
Looks like Seller should have that overshield, should have a clean on scoreboard here. He does get it, but oh God!
He got shredded!
Absolutely, Tuna melted there. No overshield to play with. That's a huge, huge team shot coming in from Faze Clan. There will be no overshield to play with, and still, just like that, a 9-kill lead for Faze.
Oh.
And they sniff him out as well. He gets taken down.
The bottom mid push coming in from Faze, but they're 4 dead! And even though they only need 4 kills, all of them are in the black screen right now. It's 11 to go here for SSG. There is a chance.
How does Faze play this here? Now it's a 6-kill game. First pick for Penguin as well. Not so fast. Even though Faze Clan now 7 kills. Somehow Frosty off screen gets 1. If he can get 2, this would be huge. A 6-kill game, 47-41. So
only
Faze
3 deaths to play with though for SSG.
Continues to trade. As long as Faze continues to play this trade game, they will take the tournament. However, easier said than done.
Sniper rifle up top middle. This would be big for SSG. Do they want to overextend to try and get it, though? Because this way you can kind of keep Faze at an arm's length. Renegade might be the player to watch here, playing for those spike grenades. Penguin's got the sniper away. Pressure on his shoulders.
There is just enough room for error here, where SpaceStation could make this happen.
Double push coming in from Faze. Double push coming in from Faze. It's the flank from Renegade. Snakebite picks up 1. It's 2 to go now for Faze.
Stays alive here, bottom mid. So far, so good here. They get that first trade. Can they sneak out another one as well? No! 43-48. 219-49 on the board.
1 more kill here for Faze, and they will be your champions. The drought might be over. The team change will be verified, and Faze, they managed to do it, and who else but the captain? Snakebite steps up on the 50th. And Faze Clan with their first Halo Championship. They're back on top.
What did we say? This roster was assembled to do one thing. The biggest roster change we could think of in quite some time. Renegade joins the squad. And not many months later, Faze Clan will take the stage as champions here at the HCS Global Invitational at DreamHack Dallas.
Might have been the iciest performance we've seen. Game 5, Game 5, Game 7. Faze Clan, they win them. It's as simple as that. Give it up here, Dallas, for your champions, Faze Clan!
And we wouldn't have it any other way. All the way to a Game 7 before Faze can call themselves champions. And there's one thing we can say for sure on set. They've earned it.
They certainly have indeed. They have been absolutely phenomenal this tournament. But like I say, it might be the iciest tournament to win that we've seen. They went deep. They had Game 5s and Game 7 to win. Well, at the end of it, they got a championship. Let's see what they have to say. Let's send it down to Blaze for the interview.
Thank you so much, Onset and Broad, for the cast. DreamHack, give it up one more time for Faze Clan, as they are your champions of the DreamHack Invitational. Now, I'm going to start here with Renegade, because Renegade, this is your first victory in red with a Faze Clan jersey. Tell me about how this feels for you, because this was the goal, to play with these guys and be back on top.
I mean, it feels amazing. We got the win. We clutched up on the whole team. But, I mean, the season's still starting, so I'm glad we got this win, but back to work.
What was it like playing up against those guys once again on this main stage here? You know, you used to team with them, but now going up against them, you know, how was that for you?
I mean, it's bittersweet, you know? It's bittersweet. Like, I like them. I wish them the best, but, you know, someone has to win.
Somebody got to win, okay? And you're a champion once again. Gonna move down here towards the middle, okay? Frosty, once again, okay? It's been a while since you got the trophy. Tell me, how's this one feeling for you?
Feels great. We finally put together the team that we wanted, put in the work. I mean, we had a 3-month break in the off-season, or like mid-season. But yeah, we've been grinding super hard for this win, and that's what we came out and did.
That's exactly what y'all did, okay? Moving on over here to the Snipe Guy Royal 2, okay? Absolutely frying all tournament. Talk to me about how this one feels for you, man.
I mean, it feels great. We had a rough season last year. Just couldn't get any momentum going. You know, a lot of second places, sixth places. It was kind of rough. But you know, picking up Renegade, they're just all eyes forward, and this is what we formed the squad for.
Definitely is, okay? Now, in this series, you guys were down 3-1, okay? What was going on through your head? What were you guys talking about to really say, let's end this now. Let's not go for another reset and have to do this again?
I mean, we just take it one game at a time. It's 3-1, and we're just like, I mean, it's just one game after another. I mean, we just know how good we are, and even though it doesn't matter if we're down 3-0, 4-0, 9-0, like, we know we can win, so that's what we did.
Keeping it simple. You guys been in these situations plenty of time, okay? One game at a time. PJ, come on in for me a little bit, okay? Team captain over here, man. How does it feel to win with this squad? Like I said, this was the goal, and you guys finally got this one done.
Yeah, it feels great. You know, Charlotte ended pretty poorly for us. You know, we felt like we really had it, but we were really humbled by it. Just had to get back to work. Obviously, coming out here and getting a win is big for us, but like John said, we just got to keep moving forward. You know, long season ahead, so right back to work for us.
Definitely a long season ahead, okay? And with everybody out there supporting you, what's one thing that you want to say to those Faze fans out there?
Just thank you so much for all the support, all the love, everyone here. Thank you for cheering on all the Halo players. You know, just much love. Thank you guys so much.
Now, I want to talk to Coach, too, for a little bit, okay? Because, Coach, Royal One, you've been with these guys through thick and thin, getting them to their best now. Talk to me about the evolution of them over this last year to really get back to this point. What are you proud of when it comes down to these 4 players?
Dude, I'm so proud of our resilience and how hard we work. Like, not everyone sees how hard we work when we practice online, but, like, we knew why we lost Charlotte. We went home the very next week, and we just tried our best to get better and button up the fundamentals, and, like, everything that we did bad in Charlotte, we did good here, and I'm so proud of the guys for how hard they worked.
Definitely a victory, well-deserved here on the main stage. Now, it's been about a year since you guys touched the trophy, so I'm going to let you have your moment right now. Everybody, once again, give it up for Faze Clan!
It's never over. You can never count them out. Absolutely exceptional. Clutch, give me your overall thoughts and feelings about this win.
I mean, the level of Halo we just witnessed was the best Halo Infinite as of yet. These guys are really pushing each other. The distance is there. Taking a look at the series layout, I mean, it was those games 3 and 4 where SpaceStation really took a commanding lead, and those are weak game types for Faze. But Faze's mentality was not broken. It was not shook. And they somehow figured out a way down 3-1 in order to create this comeback in a Game 7. I mean, that was an unbelievable performance on both sides, but hats off to Faze for staying in that series.
Hats off indeed, and I've got to say, somebody with a hat on right now, highest KD on Faze Clan, Snakebite 1.17. This guy has just been stepping it up all weekend long. Tony, talk to me about what you've been seeing in this individual.
I mean, Snakebite's been incredible, whether it's that game number 1 where you had Snakebite with that 25 kills leading his team in slays, but also having 93 seconds of ball time in his team. I think maybe 223 seconds total. It was incredible. So from everything that Snakebite's done when his team needed him to play objective, he was leading the objective. When his team needed him to slay, that 7-1 start in that game 7 really got the ball rolling for him. Snakebite and LeBron, the only two captains I could think of that have been down 1-3 and overcome recently. And who knows, maybe just like LeBron, Snakebite might be the greatest of all time by the time his career is done.
I'll go ahead and say something about Snakebite because I know a lot of people can't really talk about him about biases. You know a lot, but
I do.
This kid and how special he's been to the Halo community, his career so far, and what he continues to do, it never ceases to amaze me. Like, what he did back in, like, when I teamed with him, he was the clutchest player of all time. Every game 5, every game 11, steps up. What does he do here? Grand Finals, has the highest KD ratio on his team, but it's that game 7 start, that 6-0 start that gives his team the momentum, gets the wheels turning for them. They start to feel themselves. They get to play from the lead because Snakebite's perfect play at the start gives them everything they need. I mean, there is nobody in this league that I would want on my team in a big moment than Snakebite.
Yeah, he's pretty good. For sure. Let's take a look at the bracket and see exactly how this one went down because, my goodness me, absolutely incredible stuff. And I've got to say, the journey that they have been on is one that, honestly, they need to be proud of. They didn't honestly skip a beat. This is just so clean, so great, considering how competitive this tournament has been, Tony. I mean, the fact that, yes, they did get a little bit shaky on day 1. I feel like that is classic Faze for us. 3-2 against Hive, but then really push the boundaries as we get onto the kind of deeper situations with some of our top teams. I mean, SpaceStation beating them in the winners finals, turning things around on its head when SpaceStation potentially could reset that bracket. It's a very, very impressive tournament run.
Yeah, it's funny, when I think about FaZe's journey right now, the first that comes to mind is that they were tested multiple times, whether it was pool play, whether it was early Saturday as well. But also, the other thing that pops in my mind is, at the end of the day, when you're running late into these tournaments, it's that clutch factor. It's that ice. It's knowing what it takes to be a champion, know what it takes to win, and the best teams, they do just that. The
big thing for me throughout FaZe's journey is coming into today, I was like, SSG are the best team here, or they have looked like the best team here. FaZe is going to have to elevate their play if they want to win this tournament. They did just that. Every single series throughout this tournament, FaZe got a little bit better. They played a little bit better. They made less mistakes. People started capitalizing. They were more efficient by the end of the tournament. It's no doubt that they were the best team based off what...
Before getting to that elimination bracket finals, Spacestation Gaming looked clean. They looked better and better, and now I think they're going to look angry going into the next major. So watch out for Spacestation Gaming.
Watch out for pretty much every single team we have here in the HCS because they're all pretty nasty. The competition level, that bar is getting raised when I didn't think it could get raised anymore. So incredible stuff. But folks, that's going to do it on the desk. We're wrapping things up here. Thank you so much for tuning in all weekend. I hope you guys have had a good enough time watching some of the best Halo in the world. It is the Global Invitational, of course, so all of our teams qualifying from all over the globe to be here and compete. A huge congratulations to FaZe. Absolutely incredible stuff. Commiserations to Spacestation Gaming, but I'm sure they're going to bounce back next time. We will catch you very soon at the next LAN tournament. Don't worry, not too long to wait in between. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you for more Halo Championship Series.
This is the world's most advanced processor. In entertainment, it's rendering